bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Lord Jesus. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's show. Why does this thing keep happening to me in regards of the thing that I want? It's like every time I play my opening situation, it don't want to show what I want it to show. And I got to keep figuring out how to do it. I'm going to have to start deleting some of these things up in here. Because I'm like, bitch, hold on. Where is my situation? Why is this not coming out? So, hold on. This is like the second time this has happened. And now I'm too damn small, which I don't like. But anyway, while I figure this out, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So if that is a scene for you, definitely stay tuned because we have a lot of tea to spill today. Such as we got some Scarlett Johansson news on whether or not she's going to be returning to the MCU as Natasha, aka Black Widow. We also have some Snow White news. They're scaling back on some of the things that's going to be going on with that. Also, we're getting a remake of Cujo, and Netflix is getting behind it. Plus, we got to talk about this drama with Tamar Braxton and her and Craig. I was going to bring that up yesterday, but of course, y'all know I was busy, so I wasn't able to do it. Plus, we have the latest on Wendy Williams. Like this, why am I having an issue with this? I was like, is it this one? Is it this one? Why am I not seeing myself in a bigger expansion type situation? And I fixed it the last time. So that's what it is. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's like they put new things in StreamYard and it'd be blowing my like I'd be having to sit and literally figure out in real time how to do stuff. So thank you all for being with me. Now let's get back into it. So yeah, we got to talk about this latest Wendy Williams stuff because there was a lot of stuff going on with Wendy Williams yesterday. Plus, we got to talk about this Vanderpump Rules star, well, former James Kennedy, who got dragged on social media because he was seen hobnobbing with the Tate brothers. We're going to talk about Karla Sofía Gascón saying that she contemplated the unthinkable during all this backlash that she received from those tweets. Doechii has been named 2025 Billboard Woman of the Year. Of course, there's some people that got a problem with it, including Azealia Banks, so we'll talk about it. Ian McKellen is encouraging fellow actors to come out of the closet. I say closet is for clothes, not people, but he's saying being in the closet is silly. But we'll talk about that. Plus, we got some great news in regarding Elin Harris. One of his books is finally Invisible Life that we've been hearing about for, I feel like for almost 2 decades. We've been hearing about, they've been trying to develop his book into a movie. Well, someone who is well known within the queer cinematic universe is going to be directing it. We'll get into it. And RuPaul recently revealed that they're about to start filming season 18 of Drag Race in a couple of weeks. And mind you, we're still in the season 17. Normally they film it in the summer, but he said no, they're about to start filming it real soon. So we have that and a whole lot more. It's not really a lot going on today, but you already know I can make anything entertaining over on this show. So before we get to them topics, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, let me hit my banner. I see we already got comments. People in the building. And y'all see me on the struggle bus. There was what Howard Stern interview. Oh, Sailor Mermaid's in the building. Gaga praises the new kind of promotion, saying I don't have to fly nonstop. I get people complain about not going to London or Australia, but the internet. You want to know something? I agree with that. In the old school terms, artists had to fly all over the world to do promos. I know Europe probably feels like, well, if we, you have love over here and stuff too. You got fans over here in this country. Why aren't you going to come over here and promote as well? I'm like, child, first of all, I'm getting older. Those frequent flyer miles, that takes a toll on your body. Do we need to bring up this whole current administration that we in with planes that's falling out of the goddamn sky like rain? So it's like, no, I'm not risking my life, especially when we got a bunch of idiots running the damn insane asylum in the United States of America. And I'm not going to be flying all over the place. Like the old school way of doing things no longer applies. I say it goes with politics. It goes the same way how you promote your record. If I'm going to be, if I'm an international pop star, whatever the case is, I'm not going to be jumping and doing promo in New York. And well, you could do it in New York, LA, Chicago. Like, you could do it. Or even then, you could probably still do internet-based interviews or press conferences or whatever, or as they usually do with promos. They sit you in a room all day, like a press junket, and they have interviewers come in and out while you sit in the same chair in the same outfit, and they ask you the same 5 damn questions, which is annoying. That interviewers this day still aren't as creative with the interviews. They still be asking the same damn interview. Like I can't tell you how many Lady Gaga interviews I've seen, and they all ask the same goddamn question. It's annoying. So I'm here for it. I don't know why people get mad over the fact that she's not flying to London or Australia or France, or well, I'd say Paris, France, or any of the other conglomerates. I'm like, that's a lot. It takes its toll on your body. It's too much traveling. It's a lot of money. It's way cheaper to get on the internet. So the internet, I say this is the time we use the internet for good. So a lot of people need to adapt that. The old school way of how things were pre-internet, which of course I am from pre-internet era, you had to do all of that. Now, when I have to tour, I'll go to London, I'll go to Australia, I'll go to Paris, I'll go to Germany, I'll go to all these different places, but I'll go to Brazil. But promos, no. Use the internet to your advantage. Magical Mermaid's in the building. That's the other mermaid. Like we got Sailor Mermaid and Magical Mermaid. When it comes to a Mayhem tour, Mexico City, Rio, and Singapore is it because U.S. stadiums won't allow me to book a full month or two because of NFL or baseball, and arenas are for entry level. Well, look, um, it's already March Madness. Like college basketball is about to start their stuff tomorrow, which is why I'm gonna be crazy busy this week after today. March, so it's a lot of like the college playoffs and all that stuff. They'll be doing their thing. um Sports season is about to wrap up. It's a baseball season. Baseball season actually is about to start up in April, so you don't have to worry about that. I know all the other sports situations. I get that, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be hard to like book stadiums. I mean, there are now when you work in the stadium thing over the summer, there are concerts that are going to be happening, like at City Field and all the other stuff. We will be having concerts. We do about 6, 7 concerts during the season, so there will be concerts that'll be happening in between while you know, the Yankees or the Mets or whatever baseball team that you have that is in your state, in your city, state, whatever you want to call it, is traveling. Because they travel too. They're not just always at home playing their games. They travel as well. So during the travel part of, them playing, you can book your date or whatever at, at a stadium. But yeah, but every artist don't need to be doing no damn stadium though. Lady Gaga, yeah, she is a stadium girl because that's where her situation is. And I could definitely see Mayhem definitely calls for a stadium type setting. Sidebar, I came on late because I needed some coffee. Like this daylight savings time and then these hours and then all this other stuff, it takes it. I don't know if it's just me, but does it also do a little wear and tear on y'all too? Like it takes y'all a couple of days to get your bearings because mentally you just feel like you in a loop or feeling loopy. That's how I was feeling. Like I was just out of it today. So I was literally trying to put a show together, find topics because it is a slow news day. And um while and then I was doing laundry because I was just like, tomorrow I'm going to be working every day until Sunday. I mean, even up to Sunday, try to get stuff done. And then last night I did the WWE and MSG, which was a lot of fun. Adolf Schultz was there. I was like, oh God, this idiot. And then of course there was a little thing that they did. I don't know if y'all probably watched it on Netflix. I didn't watch it on Netflix because I was there and I need to watch something I'm already seeing in real time. But him getting beat up by Logan Paul, I was just like, what is happening? And now I'm hearing that is it Tiger that's jumping into the WWE now? I'm like, come on, now we got rappers trying to be wrestlers. Like, what is happening? I mean, bad enough back in the day, like we kind of look, it was, I guess, a little more accepted. Or we wouldn't really accept it. Remember when The Miz started out in the real world and he was somebody who wanted to be a wrestler? And we was looking at like, huh? How does that work? And then he became one of the biggest wrestlers. So it worked out. But now we got rappers trying to jump in and we got freaking moronic influencers becoming wrestlers. I saw a lot of celebrities there yesterday. Fabulous was there. Peter Rosenberg from not the Breakfast Club, from Congratulations, you played yourself. Over there, Hot 97 was there. Macaulay Culkin was there with his brother, Rory. I was like, wait a minute. Rory still got the long hair. I wanted to go up to him and say, I'm still mad at you because you tried to kill Kirby. Or you left her for dead. Y'all know it's Scream 4. I know he would have laughed if I would have said that, but I like to leave the celebrities alone. Oh, speaking of Scream, Josh Segarra was there. I was like, oh, you look good in person. He played what's her name? Melissa Barrera's boyfriend in the last Scream movie, Scream 6. So, there was a lot of celebrities in the building yesterday. But it was fun, nevertheless. Magical Mermaids, sending them hard teas, plus arenas are for reductive pop. Now, we're not going to throw shade at the arenas. Like I said, when Madonna was starting out, she was flying all over the world to do exactly. And that's what I was thinking about here. Let's see, when you go arenas, remember, Madonna does a lot of arenas too. So if you're reading Katy Perry, we kind of slightly reading the Queen of Pop. And I like the fact that Madonna stays with arenas. And she'll just do multiple dates. Isn't that exactly why we built the World Wide Web? Because it's like, look, me doing this show out of my own house, how many people I reach? I reach all over the world. Like I have people that come in the comments about, yeah, I'm from Germany, I'm from London, I'm from this place. Like you reach people all over the world. So why would you want to, don't get me wrong. If the opportunity presents itself and somebody wants to host me at a place in Germany or London where I could do a live show from there, which is a goal. Like when we get to talking about T.S. Madison and Craig and the whole Tamar drama that went down. And this was in New York where this happened. I was like, damn, I wish I was there for that. But that's a goal that I have, that I want to get to that place. I almost had something like that, but I feel like I wasn't ready. But we'll talk about that when we get to that. No, Uncle Chris. Because what I said the other day. Yeah, plus the season change. I feel like it's the change of the season, the daylight savings time, all the other stuff. It's kind of like warm me out. Like I'm alive and very much alert at night. So I don't really get sleepy until 4 a.m. Like last night, I was sitting there watching RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, the season where Kylie Sonique Love won. I was sitting there watching that, and I'm like, I'm looking at I'm like, wait, it's time for me to go to sleep. It's 4 a.m. So he said first a brilliant album, and B, I like Abracadabra. Abracadabra is a good song though. He did a mix. Oh, please. I saw that. Kyle Kalinske dragged his ass on his show. Shout out to him. I saw he did that. He sounded like a damn idiot. So I'm sitting there so y'all think, and you know what? Because since there's not a lot going on in the topics today, we could definitely get up in here and talk. Well, you said, yeah, that whole interview or whatever, where they were sitting there trying to make colonization is hilarious. I'm just like, are you dumb? So yeah, he's stupid. You said Danny is a hunk. Yes, he is. You mean Kieran? No, Kieran Culkin? No, he wasn't there. It was it was Macaulay and it was Rory. Those are the only two that was there. And Macaulay was ordering a lot of food. He must have been hungry. He was right behind, when you watch WWE, they had the little desk there where, whenever you watch the if you ever watch like regular WWE, they have like the person with the desk. So he was like behind them in like the first row. Him and his brother, they was ordering a lot. I was like, damn, y'all definitely can eat. And he's like in good shape. They're both in good shape though. And they still look little. I was like, you know what? Because first of all, I always told y'all in the story, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Macaulay Culkin. Like my dream was to be Kevin McAllister and the booby trap my house. And I was hoping and praying like somebody would break in so I could just be, a masochist. Well, a sadist. Isn't a sadist like the one that inflicts the pain on people? So that's what I wanted to kind of do. So Home Alone was like one of my all-time favorite movies. I remember even when I was a kid, they had it in like a novel form. And I remember going to the library and I would always just read the book version of Home Alone. So yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Macaulay Culkin. So when I saw him last night, I was super excited. So you said, and yeah, I got my Mickey Mouse Magic Kingdom cup. The Spice Girls promo itinerary had them flying to do 8 or 9 shows. They had to have 15-minute lunch breaks. And look, and it's a whole different change based off of when Lady Gaga was like, yeah, back in the day, I had to do like 3 shows a night. It was like, or 2 shows a night, which was I would open up for New Kids on the Block and then I would do the clubs. And we don't have to do that no more. I mean, I still say grind and do the like do nightclubs and all other stuff. That's if you want to build that audience. But the old school grind where you had to literally put your body through the ringer, those days are over. You don't need to do that anymore. It's like with me, I have friends in Australia, Brazil, Spain, London, even China. Exactly. So it's like when you make your DJ mixes and you reach people all over the world, that's what I do with this mouth. This mouth travels, yeah. That's the coping mechanism that I got. Ooh. It's all gutsy with my horror film franchise. Wait, what horror movie franchise? Did I miss something? Because sometimes I always tell y'all when I be talking, stuff just comes out and I literally do not remember what I've said. I'll have to watch back on some of my videos to be like, oh, I said that. Cultural diversity gives this country actual soul. I mean, yeah, well, apparently these saltines at the top don't think so, or they want to weaponize that against everybody to keep y'all fighting while they, rob the our government of all its resources. I do love Scream. That's what I'm looking forward to. Actually, I thought about talking about the 2 new cast members they just announced, but I'm like, y'all don't even know who the hell they are. Quiet as it's kept, I don't even know who the hell they are. So it's not that important. If it was a big name or whatever, like we were talking about David Arquette, which we did, coming back, which y'all already know I'm irritated by the fact that they keep spoiling all the past characters coming back in this thing. And y'all already know my theories on why they doing it. But for the most part, it's just like, nobody cares about these 2 people. Plus, also, I'm hearing that they're wrapping up Scream 7 this week. That they're supposed to be done filming this week. So I'm actually pretty excited once all that happens. They said they was going to do back to back Scream 7 and 8. I don't even know if that's true though. So I love that movie too. That is like one of my favorite movies. Well, that and it's mine. The medal was mine. Rhoda. The Bad Seed. I love that damn movie. I love movies with killer kids. And you know why I love that movie? Because that movie is so damn campy and so gay. It's like when you had like older gay friends, which I hung around a lot with, and they show you like those old school movies. I'm like, I love that movie. That movie, whatever happened to Baby Jane, all that stuff. So I do love The Good Son because that was like our generation's version of like The Bad Seed and all that other stuff. But yeah, I didn't know Elijah Wood was in the Monkey. I know now. You said I'm from the Seattle area, by the way. Never said. Oh, I didn't know you was from Seattle. But you proud of Ariette, but was you proud of her that last episode? I did cut up that episode my recap of Drag Race. I need to upload it. And that was another thing I was doing too. I was heavily editing the last show we did with the clips and stuff that I'm going to be uploading. And I was uploading a lot of them. So y'all probably can go on there and see like the last episode, all the different clips and stuff is up. I didn't get to do the Drag Race one yet, but yeah. I definitely got to post that one. I'll probably do that tonight once this show is done because then I got to go in and edit this one as well. So I like Arietta. She a good fashion queen, but other than that, I was just like, her behavior in this last episode, it was just no bueno. Friday the 13th, good. Halloween, underrated, and A Nightmare on Elm Street, greatest of all time. Well, I thought people like Halloween, the original one. Oh, you talking about 2018? Is it underrated? Because I thought a lot of people liked that one. And I like Friday the 13th. You know, I even like all the bad ones, except Jason Goes to Hell. I hate that one. But I do have a soft spot for Jason X because it was so stupid. And it was just like Jason in space, and it kind of had like this sci-fi channel vibe to it. It was just such a stupid movie. I just love it. But I do hate Jason Goes to Hell, and I can't stand Jason Takes Manhattan. Because how do you only spend 5 minutes in Manhattan? Y'all spend most of the time on a boat, and then y'all did one scene in Manhattan, and the rest was shot in damn Canada. So that's why I hate that freaking movie. I'm like, if Jason gonna take Manhattan, the motherfucker need to take it. He should have been going up in the projects and everything. And now how like a lot of tourists do, where the only places y'all want to hang out with is from 34th Street to Hell's Kitchen, and then y'all don't know y'all don't go nowhere past, that part. Oh yeah, it said Grammys for everything relating to Not Like Us, and it's rumored to avoid lawsuits. Grammy drama. Jumping on to Scream. I thought I liked Mikey Madison in it. She was good in it. Look, she the first Scream queen or Ghostface to win an Oscar. I like Mikey Madison in that movie. I also like when she got her ass beat and burst into flames by Sydney and Gale. And so yes, Jason versus Jaws. They jumped the shark a few times. Can you imagine they did a Jason versus Jaws? Now that would be hilarious. But anyway, all right, y'all. We are literally 20 minutes into the show. We didn't even get to the first topic yet. So let's get into her. And let's talk about Scarlett Johansson, excuse me, revealing whether or not if she's going to be returning to the MCU. And of course, you could definitely see, based on the headline at the bottom, what her answer is. So yeah, we love us some Natasha Romanoff. I love what she brought to the character of, and why is Miss Natasha blurry? Thank you. It's like the internet is interneting, or StreamYard is interneting. So it has been 6 years since Natasha Romanoff went off over a cliff. I can't believe it's been that long, by the way. I'm like, damn, where did time go? And Scarlett Johansson is still begging fans to let it go, let it go. She said Natasha is dead. She is dead. She's dead, okay? Like she had to tell y'all 3 damn times. The actress said during a recent conversation with InStyle, but no matter how many times she says it, she knows that hardcore fans are still trading theories and making guesses about how Marvel's Black Widow could have survived her on-screen death. She said they just don't want to believe it. They're like, but she could come back. Now, Natasha made her memorable last stand, I should say, in Avengers Endgame, trading her life so the titular team of heroes could claim the Soul Stone needed to reverse Thanos' snap. If you ask, Johansson was a pretty definitive death. As for the naysayers who speculate that Natasha may still be alive or could somehow return to the franchise, Johansson shared 3 words. Do I need to do Frozen again? She said, let it go. The actress pointed out that Natasha's death was a crucial part of the Avengers earning their win over Thanos, and that reversing it would minimize her sacrifice. She said, look, I think the balance of the entire universe is held in her hand. We're going to have to let it go. She saved the world. Let her have her hero moment. Now, Johansson has long defended Natasha's final moments, arguing in 2019 that it was a big move for her as a character who didn't make many active choices in her life, saying she's come into her own as a woman, saying, who am I and what do I want and what do I need out of my relationship and also out of my own self. This is what she said during Entertainment Weekly's Endgame Roundtable. She's someone who's understanding her own self-worth, and that is such a powerful journey to see anybody take. But certainly to see a woman on the screen represented in that way, a flawed superhero with a gray moral compass, coming to terms with what happened to her. So, 2 years after her death, Natasha got a final send off in the form of her long awaited solo movie, which was 2021 Black Widow. In addition to shedding some light on her upbringing, the film introduced Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, who is primed to take on the Black Widow mantle. And that's what I was about to say. You know what? As much as I love me some Scarlett Johansson, I love her ever since she appeared in Iron Man 2. And then, she's made appearances throughout the whole MCU. And of course, she was in, she was also, oh yeah, she was in Captain America, Winter Soldier. Loved her in that freaking movie. That was like one of my favorite seeing her in that. She was in Civil War. Loved that movie as well. She was also in Endgame, and she was in she was in the last two Avengers movies. And she sacrificed herself for the greater good. So I don't know why we can't leave her as dead and people can't accept that. It's kind of like the Scream fans, where a lot of y'all can't accept that Stu got that big ass TV thrown up on his face and he didn't survive. I mean, I know that he's supposed to be making an appearance in Scream. We'll see how they manage to make that whole scenario work. But for the most part, can we just accept the fact that when they say a character is dead, they can stay dead, that we don't have to go into some multiverse and pull out a different version like they did with Zoe Saldana's character in the Guardians of the Galaxy, that they pulled out some different version of her, and it wasn't even like Gamora that Star-Lord was in love with, that it was a different version. So I don't like when they want to do that. When we got to dig into the multiverse for a different version of somebody and on all these other things. It's just like, yeah, if somebody dies, let that be the situation where it was, and they did it for the greater good. It was for an impact for the audience, because I feel like a lot of times, and maybe this is why a lot of people don't want to agree with her being dead or accept it, is because there have been too many times when we've seen movies where y'all kill a character off, and then it's just like, a movie or three later, you bring them back, which I'm like, well, what was the point of you pulling on our heartstrings and steering us in this direction if you were going to reverse the very thing you did for fan service or whatever the case is? They've done it many a times in the Fast and the Furious movies. Is there any character in that movie that's actually dead? Because, Michelle Rodriguez died. Now she alive. Apparently she had amnesia. Then we saw in the last horrible freaking Fast X, Gal Gadot. Didn't she die sacrificing herself? One of the best movies that they made out of the franchise of the Fast and the Furious. Now she alive. Came out of a submarine like she was Mila Jovovich in, the villains brought out Ada Wong in Retribution. That's what it felt like. I'm like, well, how's she alive? Y'all got to explain that in the next one. So it's like, the only one that we know is dead is Paul Walker, because he's dead in real life. So you can't bring him back. But everybody, or they didn't kill his character off in the movie, but you know what I'm saying. So to me, it's just like, it's way more impactful to keep her dead than anything else. And I like Scarlett Johansson. I would love for her to come back, but I'm definitely curious to see what Yelena is going to bring in regards of Thunderbolts, which, this recent trailer they dropped of Thunderbolts, it looks really good. I've actually wanted to see. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit on the fence. I was a bit skeptical with Thunderbolts because we've been kind of let down a lot by the MCU on whether or not are we going to get a good movie. I was just like, I enjoyed watching the last Captain America movie, Brave New World, but for the most part, it was all over the place. The script was a mess. Y'all had Anthony Mackie's character interacting in situations that had nothing to do with him. He wasn't tied to any of that stuff. You were pulling things from Incredible Hulk. You were pulling things from so many other IPs that he wasn't even a part of. So instead of giving him his own film that he could hold down. And I think like fear kind of played into that with the studio. They had to figure all that out. So hopefully when we're getting Thunderbolts, that it'll steer us in the right direction, and finally the MCU can get themselves on the right track. Because post Endgame, y'all have been trying to keep y'all heads above water, in my opinion. So I like Florence Pugh. I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to bring to, the Black Widow franchise. Also, let's not forget, they had another Black Widow-esque type character who was like from Israel. And I know there was a big controversy behind all that when it came to the Captain America Brave New World, where they had this little lady up in there who I didn't know she was an Israelis, superhero, whatever the case was. I didn't know nothing about her, but apparently there was a whole controversy. People was protesting at the premiere and all that other stuff. So yeah, she's dead. Let her stay dead. And then she also spoke about, in addition to this, she spoke about Jurassic World, where the studio, I believe it's Universal, wanted her to jump on Instagram so she could promote the film. And she was like, I'm not a social media girl. This is not a world that I'm interested in jumping on just for the sake of promoting the film. I need to be able to be me and continue to have the type of integrity that I have without having to succumb to jumping on social media and getting in that world. Because I know like a lot of people will think that, okay, so now I'm gonna jump on social media, I'm gonna promote this movie, and now I'm gonna have the trolls, a lot of the incels coming on and starting a mess when I'm over here just trying to promote a movie. But then people want to jump in because they don't like maybe certain things that I've said or whatever. They want to jump in and find this as a way to come into the comments and say some stuff. And I agree with her on that. If she's not a social media girl, don't put her into that. Universal, y'all need to do your job and figure out how to promote this movie in really cool ways. I'll show up, I'll do the interviews, I'll go on the red carpet, I'll be the show pony. But I'm not gonna get on no internet because I don't do that. I got other things that I got going on besides trying to jump on the internet because you want me to teeter to a certain demographic. Y'all just got to get creative in that part. So I just want to throw that in there because that was something that she had said in another interview. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Are you upset that we're no longer going to get Scarlett Johansson in future MCU films? I feel like, you know what? We all moved on. It's time for the MCU to develop and get us on board with newer characters so they can continue to steer the MCU in the right direction rather than relying on your former stars like a Chris Hemsworth, like a Scarlett Johansson, now recently RDJ, who's about to play Dr. Doom. So now you're digging into the old war chest to bring back past characters from a previous cinematic universe and having them play a different character because y'all are having a bit of an identity crisis over there. It's just like, just develop new characters. Like, you should have been invested in developing Shang-Chi, so we could have been rooting for, man, I love the first movie. Like, we should have been had a sequel out for that film. And there should have been other characters that you should have been developing so that way by the time we get to, the next Avengers, Secret Wars, and Doomsday and all that other stuff, that we already have characters that we're rooting for. Because at this moment, I just got a fog. I'm in a haze. I don't see who is going to be able to carry the mantle beyond the superheroes that we've already grown to love through the first 3 phases. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. Let's see what everybody is saying. Everybody likes Mikey Madison. Well, not the haters like that old leatherface bastard Bill Maher, who we talked about the other day, was saying that Amelia Perez lost because of cancel culture. I'm like, no, the movie was shit. Let's just call it what it is. The movie was not good. So that's why it lost. And if you really want to go there, Amelia Perez, the movie may have been called Amelia Perez, but it wasn't even about her. It was more or less that whole story being told through the eyes of Rita. And that's why Zoe won the award. And I feel like that movie was just picked because the Oscars wanted to show like, see, we're diverse, we're open, we accept all kinds of different movies and stuff in our world and all this. I mean, I'm sitting there like, but of all the movies you pick to show diversity, you pick this one. Of all the movies you want to show about the celebration of complex trans people, you pick Amelia Perez. Like, really? This is the movie? And then you have the nerve to give this film best song? Those songs are unsingable. Those songs are horrible. Their vocals are terrible. I'm like, why didn't y'all give it to Diane Warren? See, y'all playing in her damn face. That lady should not still been nominated a whopping 16 times. Was she the Susan Lucci of music? The music industry? Like, y'all still keep playing in Diane Warren face. She should have won for 688. I heard somebody say Elton John. Child, get that old queen off my line. I can't stand Elton John. So, no, I don't want Elton John to win. Yes, I'm biased because he's been shady towards the queen, Madonna. That's why I don't want his ass to win. Any old cranky old lady. He like a cranky old queen. I can't stand a cranky old queen. Yeah, the MCU. Oh yeah, there was that too. That was a whole controversy with Disney, but that was Bob Chapek. That's why she took his ass to court and she won because he was playing in her face, especially with the release of Black Widow. The movie was supposed to be released theatrical. He decided to renege on the contract, which is said in writing that it was supposed to go into theaters first. He wanted to do a simultaneous release, which was in the theaters and at the same time on streaming. Sidebar, did y'all know that the younger version of Scarlett Johansson was played by Mila Jovovich's daughter? Her and Paul W.S. Anderson, their daughter played her in the early, like in the opening sequence. Yeah, she is in the next Jurassic movie. That's what I said. She got a whole new franchise. It's probably gonna make a whole lot of money. And I like Scarlett Johansson. I've always liked her. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. Ghost World and Pearl Earring are my favorite. Well, I'm glad you said Pearl Earring and not Pearl Necklace. These comic book movies are glorified soap operas. Nobody ever. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Speaking of soap operas, child, I gotta watch Beauty in Black. They released the second part. Now, y'all know I don't like Tyler Perry. However, Beauty in Black is such a mess that they sucked me in. For a hit. Those damn writer strikes. Well, that was another thing that hurt them. She can always turn comments off. Well, yeah, there's that. She could turn off the comments, but I doubt that. But I don't think it'll be up to her. It's up to the studio because if she's getting online to do something for the studio is going to have to determine whether or not, because you are a paid employee of the company. Even though you're like an independent contractor as an actor, but the MCU didn't deserve Scarlett. I liked her much more in the Marriage Story. I don't think I ever saw that. Gaga posted a video on her IG, excuse me, of her at a record store with a Like a Prayer vinyl right behind her Mayhem album, but a lot of the comments are talking about Lana's honeymoon. Why are they talking about Lana Del Rey? That is funny. But it's like, yeah, they told me. So nobody mentioned the fact that Mayhem is next to Like a Prayer, but they talking about Lana. First, I love me some Lana Del Rey. I almost said Lana Del Rey. I mean, I like her too. That British. I know exactly what you said with that cigarette. Size Queen was shady to Madonna and Janet, and then had the audacity, the unlitigated gall to make a song with Britney to leech onto her. That wasn't the only thing, because I really feel like he leached onto Lady Gaga too, and was using her. Well, they was kind of using each other, kind of like how Perez was with Gaga, and that whole thing with Christina Aguilera. I feel like she ain't innocent either. Mother Monster, you're not innocent. We here. I watch your ass. But when it come down to the whole leashing thing, I agree with that because it wasn't just the Britney thing, and then he leached off of Gaga to spite Madonna, making her the godchild of godmother to his child. And all the other side, I'm like, but Madonna is unbothered. So while you sitting there with the screw face, still mad because she got the Golden Globe and your ass didn't, because you thought she wasn't gonna win it, and you sitting there all crotchety with your eyesight going, and she out here living her best life, about to bring out her next album, and you still sitting at home grouchy, or sit wherever and being grouchy. Lana and Gaga have a history in New York together. Lana made a whole diss track on Gaga that her fan. Oh, who knew that? I didn't know that. He also, he leached off Dula Pete. Wait, but why did he leech off? Oh, was that? Oh, yeah, because you want to know something? That Rocket Man song that they remade, I hear that song all the time when I'm at work. I'm like, chill. Why? Can you turn that shit off? But then again, it be in your head that you end up singing it. So anyway. Okay, so now since we still talk about Disney, let's get into this story. So Disney apparently is scaling back on Snow White because the premiere is supposed to be this week. And is the premiere this week or the movie dropping this week? I don't know. Well, personally, I don't care because I ain't going to go see it because the movie looks terrible any damn way. But yeah, they're scaling back because of the controversies with Rachel Zegler and with Gal Gadot. But I don't even know if people have been paying outside of the bubble that we all kind of partake in are even paying attention. But apparently, I guess Disney feels like they are. That's why they're scaling back on a lot of the promos and stuff. So it says, if the original 1937 Snow White could see what's become of her story, she might have been chosen to bite that apple of her own free will. Disney's live-action remake has been riddled with so much controversy, it's become a genuine challenge to keep track of it all. Who you telling? And the movie isn't even out yet. Now, as such, Disney has made the canny, but still largely unprecedented decision to exclude media outlets from the upcoming premiere's red carpet on March 15th. Coverage will be limited to photographers and an in-house crew per Variety. Well, yeah, because they don't want to ask Rachel Zegler no damn questions, because the minute that girl opens her damn mouth, stupidity comes out. And then, they don't want to ask Gal about what her opinion on things is, because she served in the Israeli military. People are calling her a Zionist. And there have been people out here who have been actively protesting a lot of what she's been saying and is about. So there's that. So they said that the afternoon festivities will include a pre-party and screening at the El Capitan Theater. Oh, I know exactly where that is. Because when I lived in LA, I used to go by there all the time. With titular star Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, expected to attend. However, the red carpet will not include the dozens of media outlets usually invited by Disney to interview the cast and creatives at its premieres. Instead, coverage will be limited to photographers and a house crew. The studio did not comment for the story, but they scale back plans comes amid controversies surrounding the Mark Webb directed film, which hits theaters so it comes out next week, the 21st, but this week is the premiere. So now some toxic Disney fans questioned Snow White being played by Zegler when her casting was announced because she is a Latina actor. Doesn't matter, because there's a lot of Latinos and Latinos that run around here trying to act like they got this assimilation of whiteness. So y'all mad over the fact that she's a Latina girl? She looked just like a damn Snow White. So y'all should kind of be okay with that. The West Side Story star also faced backlash, where she called the 1937 original dated because the prince literally stalked Snow White. Okay. Now, in an interview with Variety at D23 2 years ago, she said, she's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. And this is exactly why, and this is no shade, but this is why a lot of men have decided, this is why men are the way they are today, because y'all want to run around, we're not going to be saved by a prince. Nobody's saying that you got to be fainting every 3 seconds. Like, where's my knight and shiny pickup truck? Nobody's saying all of that. But you can be independent in so many other ways, but not define it by the fact that, there's some man that got to save you. You could have found a way for you two to kind of be co-leads or whatever the case is. So when y'all go and say all of this, of course, this is going to turn people off, particularly guys. Because you're saying, well, she's not going to be saved. She's not going to be a damsel in distress. She's a strong woman. She's a strong, independent woman, which I feel like is kryptonite to me and a lot of people, especially when you make movies or whatever, when y'all always want to do that when it comes to women, like a action hero of the female specimen. You always go, a strong female character, and we already know what that means. But it's like a woman who happens to, triumph through whatever situation that she's going through. Why can't you just create the thing, do the thing, and not have to always put a label on strong female character? And I hate when y'all say that, because I see what it is when y'all do that. So you get this old bobble-headed air brain who says that, and of course it turns a lot of people off. So then that wasn't the only thing. So then Peter Dinklage, pint-sized, vertically challenged ass, comes out and says a whole thing about little people and saying that it's perpetuating negative stereotypes. So you want to put all kinds of little people out of business. So he says, literally no offense to anything, but I was sort of taken aback. And this is what he said on the WTF with Mark Maron podcast on January 2024. They were very proud to cast a Latino actress. Well, they said Latino actress, that she's not a dude, by the way, as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. Well, if you're going to be digging into an old IP, why not cast what it is? They're little people. So what do you want them to change the name of Snow White and the Seven Little People? Like, I don't understand what's the issue with having little people with her. You don't want to give little people an opportunity. It's not like they're treating them in a way where it's disrespectful, because now we're in this era of, if things are offensive back in the day, I do feel like we should course correct. I'm trying to find the right words. There should be ways to course correct situations to make it like we're not being offensive to a specific group of people. So if the seven dwarfs are being treated a certain way, I say, yeah, you can spruce it up a little bit for the new generation. But to sit up in here and say, well, casting little people is disrespectful because now you've decided, oh, so Snow White is not going to be played by a white woman. They actually decided to change up Snow White and make a Latina come in and play Snow White. But why it got to be dwarfs? It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Why they got to be dwarfs? Why can't we have dwarfs that's 7 feet tall? I'm like, huh? Because dwarfs is not tall, dummy. So this is what happens when you allow actors to come in with ideas when they're not creatives. You're an actor. Your job is to come in, be a blank canvas, and read what's on the damn script and portray that character. When you want to come in and make your little movie, if you got an idea you want to write the script for and ask a studio to give you the money and you want to get in that spot of directing and creating and be a creative, then you create. But don't come up in here signing on for a movie and then you want to channel your inner Blake Lively and take the shit over. Because then you're going to piss me off. But of course, here we go. And this is where I got to windmill a little bit on the studios. This is when y'all come in and because y'all don't want to come off offensive, which is the very democratic thing to do now, which is, well, we don't want to offend nobody. So now we don't want to come off looking a certain way. So yeah, we got to make these changes. And then when we see the movie, it literally, the dwarves or whatever these characters are, y'all got them, because I don't know what the fuck they are at this point. These CGI things, they literally look like the first draft of when y'all did Sonic before the Sonic fans had to cuss y'all out and y'all went in and actually hooked Sonic up and made him look bigger and much better than y'all did with the first version of him. This is what this is giving. The dwarves is giving first draft Sonic tease. And now you're in a situation where your movie looks like shit. Nobody believes that a Gal Gadot with her acting, she couldn't act her way out of a bloody tampon. Nobody's going to believe that she could be a freaking witch, a wicked witch of the West. Who's the fairest of the... My girl, really? You look how you look and people supposed to believe that you're supposed to be the wicked witch? Or that you so insecure about your damn look? Nobody believe that. Not even you. You was lucky the way that Patty Jenkins was able to make you seem watchable playing Wonder Woman, but Patty Jenkins ain't gonna be able to help you with the acting in this one. So yeah, then we had that dumbness with him. And this is what he said to Good Morning America. To avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters that have been consulting with members of the dwarf. Now you gotta go with the community. Be like, how offensive are we? Don't want to be offensive. So then she also, now Zegler reasons that the backlash to the film is due to the passion for the original film. Okay, let's entertain this foolishness. So she said, I interpret people's sentiments towards the film as passion. What an honor to be part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and all we can do is our best. And this was what she said. It was translated from Spanish to English, by the way. So now world politics, they said, have also come into play, and where she, came under fire because of the whole Free Palestine sort of situation. Similar to, Melissa Barrera. She came out and was like, Free Palestine. And at the time, Gadot, who is Israeli, I mean, haven't you heard her open her mouth? You definitely know she's from fucking Israel. Has become an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media as well as in a passionate speech she delivered on March 4th when she was honored at the Anti-Defamation League annual summit in New York City. Why was she nominated? Or why did she receive a Anti-Defamation League annual, award? What was she doing? Because she served in the military? I thought that was mandatory. So She said, never did I imagine that on the streets of the U.S. and different cities around the world, we would see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of, bitch. See, this is, and you know what, this is what pissed me off about her, because nobody was sitting there cheering on the massacre of Jewish people. I hate when you create a mass genocide against Palestinians, but then when the people who Hamas is about, and I'm not saying that they're correct in a lot of things. I understand why they're doing what they're doing, but I'm not saying it's the correct thing. For all the many decades that Israeli people have gone after trying to colonize Palestine, have done the things that they've done to a lot of the Palestinian people, where there are more dead Palestinians than there are people from Israel. But you talk about people cheering on the death of Israeli people. Nobody was cheering on, well, I wasn't. Maybe there are some people out there that are vindictive and evil in that way that were cheering that on. I wasn't one of them. My thing is, I don't like when you have a government like ours who are giving people like a warmonger, a warmongering terrorist like Netanyahu, Miss BB, the tools, the money, and the power and the wherewithal to continue to cause harm. We just heard today or yesterday that he cut off power in Israel. I mean, not Israel, in Palestine or in Gaza. How do they have the ability and the wherewithal to be having any kind of control over this place that does not belong to them? But she's not going to condemn that. Bitch, just sit around, continue to be a horrible actress, continue spreading your legs for your husband and having multiple children. She just had a fourth one, which you talk about she almost died, by the way. Just do that. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, because politics is not one of them. And you've been, programmed in your head because of where you from to believe a certain thing. We should have empathy for, in different situations and not just be blankly saying that people are cheering for Hamas. But sometimes, like we said with the Luigi Mangione situation and him with the CEO, we're not condemning the death or him killing people, but I understand why he did what he did. Because people are tired of the establishment constantly doing harm to so many others. So I kind of understand the whole situation. But when you've been indoctrinated to believe a certain thing, and then of course when you come out and you try to show all the different sides, because there are some Jewish people or Israeli people who are against what is happening to to Palestine or the Palestinians or people in Gaza, but they don't want to talk about that in mainstream media. They only want to show certain things, because if you say certain things, if you point out the hypocrisy on the side of Israel, you're anti-Semitic. You're against. No, you ain't gonna play. Don't spit on my leg and tell me it's raining, or piss in the air and tell me it's raining, as as Judge Judy likes to say. We're not playing that game. You're not gonna do that up in here. Not on my watch, because I'm too smart for that. Whereas you got a lot of people out here, oh, I'm so scared if I say certain things, and it's the end of me, and you'll get, well, when you're in mainstream media where they control everything, then you can be afraid to say what you need to say. So this movie more than likely is probably gonna flop. I mean, unless you've been paying hard attention to everything that's been going on with all of this, I could definitely see the movie not doing necessarily well. I did hear it's going to be tracking about 60 to 70 million dollars opening weekend, which I guess is okay for a movie of this situation. But we'll see how it works. And they said the trailer for the movie garnered 11.8 million views on YouTube since it came out 3 months ago. I mean, that does sound like a relative. I mean, 11.8 million, that's not bad. But the question remains, what do you guys think of this story? Do you even care about this whole Snow White film and all this other stuff that's going to be transpiring with that? And do you even care to see it? This is the latest that they've been talking about with this whole situation. Yeah, I can see why y'all scaling back, because y'all don't. This is what it is that the media is out here trying to protect or the studio trying to protect these actors from whatever the journalists and everybody's going to add. I don't even see why it's even a point for people to maintain working in journalism anymore. People don't even have the ability to say or have constructive criticism or even speak out on things anymore, because of the way the way our country is going, especially with this current administration, where certain CEOs like a Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, and so many others, are getting rid of people who have critical thinking skills because they don't want to piss off certain people. So this is the game, the game that we're playing now. This is why I say go independent, get on social media, do what you need to do. I know it might be a road that's harder traveled, but it's the only outcome that we have at this point. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. And speaking of comments, we got a whole lot. Who said that one song made no noise in America? I heard they canceled the UK. They're canceling a lot of premieres. Free advertising. The families will run it. Who the hell said these fairy tale characters need to be any racial background? Well, look, they bringing back Grimm. That's the only Grimm I care about. Is that they bringing back Grimm? I don't know if I think it's a movie or something or another, but. And then again, I'm like, can y'all please also, I wish I would have said that in the last week, can y'all stop remaking live action versions of animated films? Like, they all turn out to be not that great. I did not like the live action version of The Lion King. I did not like the live action version of Aladdin. I did not like the live action version of a lot of the stuff. The only one that came close to actually being like, okay, this is somewhat decent was the one that they did of Cinderella a couple of years ago. But we don't really need any more live action versions of IPs that we all grew up on. I mean, I wasn't alive in the 30s, but when you were a kid, these were like a lot of the Disney films that, when you had the VHS that I was introduced to. Disney and these meta commentators don't understand the Disney princesses or the ethos of the brand. And Walt the princess? Wait, huh? Were never a goal they were reward for. Well, look, when you get, this is why I always say some of these actors, y'all need to be seen and not heard, because I don't really think y'all understand the source material. They think literally if you see a prince up in there that sweeps you off your feet, that it's literally, well, he's coming to save me. It's like, no. Did you not understand the overall metaphors? Or maybe there was a little truth to the fact that, they had the prince to sweep you off your feet. And what's wrong with a man coming to your rescue in certain situations? You can have your moments of, where you go in and do what you need to do. But for the most part, if you need a little rescue situation, then why not? They went to Disney for a vacation and folks thought they were a cast member. It's And I used to like Gal Gadot until I started finding out more about her and some of the recent stuff she says. And now, fuck that bitch. But I still do like Wonder Woman, the first one, not the second. Don't even get me started on the second one. I do forgive you, Pedro Pascal, for doing that horrible ass movie. But overall, that movie was trash. I do hope that we get another Wonder Woman though movie. Mind you, Rachel is white. They see her name and think she isn't. Well, they said she's Latina, but like I said, she's like a white presenting. And then we're getting a live action. Oh, God, we're getting that, and we're getting How to Train Your Dragon. That's another one too. Although I will say this, the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie does look pretty good. So I might actually watch that one. But yeah, it was just like, no, we don't really need any more animated versions of movies, of animated films. She was, and that was because, you know what? Like so many other actors who aren't the best, but they have like a good director behind them. Patty Jenkins was able to play to her strengths, is what I'll say. Yeah, Moana 2, it definitely did $1 billion, even though, a lot of people say it wasn't the best film, but I guess who cares when it makes a shit ton of money, right? It's the one that oh yeah, I forgot that it is one of the most disliked trailers. That, 11 million, but it's the most disliked. So to me, I'm thinking, yeah, I think they know they got a bomb on their hands. My mom said she wanted to see the Snow White movie because she saw a commercial for it, but I'm not about to go take the live action Dumbo room. Oh yeah, that was another one. Don't even get me started. I love that movie, but I still do. I mean, it was a disaster. I love the animated version though. Yeah, Maleficent wasn't bad. I liked Maleficent because of Angelina Jolie. Like anything Angelina Jolie would pop in, I watched. So that was the only reason why I liked the movie. Other than that, besides her performance, I was like, I don't care. You know, it was another thing I liked. I did like Cruella. I thought that was good though. Although it was unnecessary, it was no point of us getting a Cruella movie, but I enjoyed it. All right, y'all. So let's move on with the show, and let's get into our next or final movie topic before we get to all the messy drama. Cujo, a Stephen King novel, who we've got a movie of it back in the 80s, is getting a remake courtesy of Netflix. So yeah, Netflix is jumping into the whole Stephen King situation. And according to Deadline, well, I'm sure y'all probably know what the movie's about. If you don't, it's basically about a movie. It's basically based on a novel, Stephen King's novel, about a mother and a son who get trapped in their car while protecting themselves from a rabid dog. The novel, according to Deadline, said was first turned into a 1983 thriller that starred Dee Wallace as a mother desperate to protect her son from a formerly friendly 200-pound Saint Bernard that has been bitten by a rabid bat and turns into a ferocious, calculating hound that leaves a trail of bodies. Now, mother and son get stuck in her small car and that won't start, and their choices are to battle it out with the rabid, oversized hound or risk heat stroke in a hot car. The film was one of many adaptations of King's thriller bestsellers that turned into film hits. Now, King continues to be as prolific as ever because, we're getting a bunch of movies that's supposed to be coming out based off of Stephen King novels. So we're getting Never Flinch, which will be the next one published, and he's working on a third installment of The Talisman, but his backlist continues to be golden. The Osgood Perkins directed adaptation of King's short story The Monkey just came out, and upcoming are the Francis Lawrence directed The Long Walk, the Edgar Wright directed Glenn Powell star The Running Man, and the It prequel Welcome to Derry, with Andy Muschietti directing, the Jack Bender directed The Institute, and a series adaptation of Carrie with Mike Flanagan directing. So, and we also have adaptations of more recent King novels, including Fairy Tale with Paul Greengrass and Life of Chuck with Mike Flanagan again. So yeah, people are really digging into Stephen King's books, and I feel like we're in a time now where people could properly develop a lot of Stephen King's work. And it works because there are more options, especially like you can go on, like they said, with Netflix, you can go with streaming. They're doing a Carrie TV series. It'll be interesting to see how they work that out. Because, how are they going to make a Carrie series work? And how many seasons are we getting? Is it a limited series? Like that, I'm definitely curious about. I'm also curious to see the Running Man because I love the original with Maria Conchita Alonso and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I'm definitely curious to see how they're going to make that work. And you want to know something? If you ever seen The Running Man or read the book, it definitely feels the timing could be more perfect for that type of subject matter to be brought up, especially in the world we're currently in. Welcome to the oligarchy. So that is, I'm going to be interested in. I have not seen The Monkey yet, but I am curious to see it. I'm sure if I waited like maybe a couple more weeks, it'll be on digital. So I'll just rent it at home and check it out like everything else. Movies are in theaters for like 2 weeks and already it's on, digital. So there's really no point for me running. And Welcome to Derry, we're still waiting on when that's supposed to be coming out. I heard they pushed that to 2026. Now, in regards of Cujo, I do think that it is time for Cujo to get a remake. Now, I love the original with Danny Pintaro, Jonathan, who was the boss that played the son, and Dee Wallace. And if y'all read the book, which they did make a slight change, the son dies in the book, but he doesn't in the movie. So it'll be interesting to see how they make this whole dynamic work because I do love the original Cujo, this lovable Saint Bernard that was just drool. It kind of reminds me of my dog Xena, but she's like a Shar-Pei bulldog mix, and she drools a lot too. So that kind of reminds me of like, oh Lord, they're about to make a movie kind of similar. Well, she's not. Well, Saint Bernard bulldog. They all kind of had that whole look to them. So it seemed like this rabid, drooling, gross-looking dog just trying to kill people. Let's see how they make that work. Please be good and not kind of go in the direction of the recent Wolfman movie that came out, which I know a lot of people was like, it was not a good film. So I'm really looking forward to this film. I hope they do it justice, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Netflix is going to do. But that also got me nervous too, because every time Netflix gets their hands on adapting a movie or even throwing money at a movie, movies turn out to be crap. Like most recently, what is it? I forget the name of the movie, what it's called. With the Electric State, I think it's called, with Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. They were talking about like that movie is god awful. So it's just like Netflix usually gets their hands on stuff. It always gets me nervous when it comes to movies. TV shows, they're much better at for the most part. But movies, it's usually more miss than hit. But I got my fingers crossed that the people that are going to be behind it, and I believe they did say who's the person who's going to be producing um these films, or maybe I don't have that information in front of me. But yeah, hopefully the movies doesn't suck is what I'll say. So I ask all of you, what do you guys think of this story regarding we're getting a remake of Cujo? Like I said, I love the original movie, but I think oh yeah, I did buy it. I have like the digital release. I mean, I did buy it on digital. So usually every now and again when I'm in the mood, I will put that movie on and I'll watch it. But I enjoy the original. But look, it needs to be remade for a modern audience. And I don't mind modern. I mean, if they want to remake something, as long as it doesn't suck. So we'll just have to wait and see if Netflix finally delivers a good one in regards to their, movie choices. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Throwing Man should be great if they have a solid. Well, yeah. I mean, Edgar Wright is behind it, and I like Edgar Wright. I'm not saying that he can't make a crappy movie, but I trust that it's gonna be good. And I like Glenn Powell. Everybody's saying that he's overused, like he's overexposed. I'm like, really? Because I haven't really been seeing Glenn Powell in a lot of stuff. So I don't know what anybody's talking about. The last time I saw him in anything, he did Twisters, and then he did that other movie with the where he was like the assassin thing that was on Netflix, which was actually that actually was a movie that was good that was on Netflix. They once in a blue they'll drop a good one. FD6 is rated R for strong bloody violence, grisly images, and a pervasive language and extreme use of drugs, sex, and the F word. Anybody under 21 is banned from this movie per the MPAA. Ask for ID. Wait, why am I having a brain fart? What is FD6? Throw that down in the comments. Carrie bleeding out in the gym first period going to be a whole episode. You want to know something? Can you imagine? Plug it up, plug it up. Yeah, how they gonna make that work as a series? I just can't see Carrie. I mean, Carrie wasn't even that thick of a book. Like, if you really look at Stephen King books, and child, trust and believe, he take like 3 pages to describe somebody walking from one end of the room to the other. He can be real descriptive, annoyingly so, when it comes to his writing, which is why I will say it has always been a struggle for me to complete a whole Stephen King book because I'm like, okay, can we get to the point? Like, I be feeling like that sometimes with him in his books. But yeah, it definitely feels like that joke where you're saying like she literally gonna be bleeding out of the gym. The book is not even that big. It's like under 200 pages. So I don't understand how they're gonna stretch Carrie into a series. But we'll see. Unless y'all really gonna dive into her crazy relationship with her mother. And talking about her, spent a whole episode talking about her dirty pillows. The monkey was unserious and creepy and dark for all the wrong reasons. Gay incest tease, which I guess is hot. Well, look, don't they have incest stuff going on the Caucasian Lotus over there on HBO? I think the dog was having a heat. He probably was, among other things. Yeah, the Netflix movies usually is, which is why I never rush to watch them because I'm always expecting the worst. Who was the mid pop star who left her dog in a car while she was shopping at the mall? Then she tweeted some BS trying to justify, but it was too late and the tour got canceled. Wait, somebody did that? Are you trying to give us a blind item? Okay, Michael Busto. Yeah, I could definitely see Cat's Eye as a getting a remake. Don't be surprised if we don't get one. I need to see Glenn Powell in more ways than one. And this Mermaid Cat's Eye is one of my faves. Shout out to Miss Barrymore. I need a rated R version of the Tommy Knockers, a remake of Evil Dead. You know what? First of all, why can't they remake the bad ones? Can y'all remake the bad movies like Thinner? Can you remake, especially with, y'all could give it an Ozempic twist or something or another. Why don't y'all remake the bad ones? You know what also, even though it is one of my guiltiest of pleasures and I absolutely love it, but I would love for them to remake this movie. Why not Stephen King Sleepwalkers? Why can't y'all remake that one? I think that would warrant a remake. I like the original movie. Alice Krige worked up, she did her thing in that movie. So I actually liked her as the crazy mother. And then her relationship with her son was kind of, speaking of incest. And the dude from Charm played her son. And then Madge and Amy played the girl that was the virgin. They were trying to eat her soul and pass it to the mother so they could eat, retain their youth. And they were allergic to cats. Like the cats was the thing that could kill them. And then we had Clovis. Clovis was the star of that damn movie. I would love to see a remake of Sleepwalkers. And I like Ali X. Now, girl, you're about to make me not like you. You damn Canadians. Oh my God, I haven't seen Graveyard Shift in a long time, so I need to revisit that one. But Sleepwalkers is like one of my favorite movies, especially when they used the Enya song, which was sampled in the Fugees' Ready or Not. Don't the children haven't? They do. They cut that out though. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, I had to think about that because I did read Stephen King's It. That was a long ass book. Speaking of long books, that was a long one. Look, even remake Cell, because while I like the idea of Cell, the execution of that movie wasn't that great. So, not the way you spell an orgy though. But anyway, let's move on. Child, let's get into this mess. So, I was minding my business. I was just scrolling yesterday on social media. And then all of a sudden I saw I don't know, I was on Facebook or something or another, and then I saw somebody posted something about a fight or something that went down between Tamar Braxton. She went to because here's the thing with Craig and T.S. Madison. I don't know if y'all know, but they have a show on YouTube that's really was a huge hit called Phag Talk. I know everybody be trying to be like, oh, we're not going to say it because of the algorithm, whatever. The show was called Phag Talk, Phagtawlk, as y'all can see in the headline, or in the lower third, I should say. So, yeah, they have a show called Phag Talk, and they've been traveling around the United States where they do like these like a town hall. Like people go and they go in and they do the hot topics, they kiki with their fans, which is something that I will say as somebody who's been in this pundit space for a while, that is a dream of mine that I want to do. I've even had an opportunity with my friend Daniel Ardicio was saying he would love for me to do my podcast from Red Eye. And at the time the show wasn't where it is today. So I felt like I didn't want to go up in there with like 10 followers or whatever, or people 10 subscribers on my show, and the show hasn't been built to where now we almost at 3K, which I know is still small potatoes, but I like the fact that I'm building my audience little by little, and eventually it'll blow up to be much bigger down the road because I'm putting it out in the universe. So yeah, one of the dreams I have is like similar to, T.S. Madison is doing it, Funky Dineva does the way he has his, he traveled. There's so many podcasters who get in a space where it's like, yeah, we do our show from our home or whatever the case is, but eventually down the road what we want to do is be able to travel around the United States, meet the fans, rent out a space, they come in and they kiki with us while we just talk, we shoot the shit and talk hot topics. And that's basically what this is. So TS and Craig, who do the show together, they stopped in New York. They did the New York stint. Unfortunately, I'm still kicking myself because I wasn't able to go there. But this is the second time they actually came and do the New York stint. So I was mad that I didn't get a ticket to come for that one. But next time y'all come to New York, I'm gonna try to get up in there for that one. But anyway, so they were doing their thing. Tamar Braxton apparently got a hold of a damn microphone, and she decided to go in on Craig because Craig, as if you've been watching Phag Talk, that whenever they talk about certain situations, he has gone in on Tamar, but not in a nasty way. He just says like some of the things she does, especially when she ends up being talked about during certain hot topic segments, he just giving her a lot of constructive criticism, which is what he's supposed to do. So people, I don't think realize that. Okay, so TS is someone who is like, she's crossed over into the mainstream spaces. She's a judge on Drag Race. She's doing movies. She's popping up in TV shows. She's hobnobbing with people like Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels. So she's got a lot of celebrity friends. So she's occupying the mainstream celebrity space. She may not be mainstream in the sense of like Angela Bassett or whatever, but she's in those waters. She gets to go to the Emmys. She gets to go to the Grammys. She's hobnobbing with the A-list on down. So she's in that space. Craig, on the other hand, is someone who is not necessarily in those spaces. He's not someone who necessarily has to curb his tongue at a lot of times. So the good cop, bad cop situation actually works. It's similar, but it's not as raunchy and nasty and as mean-spirited as when she had the Queen's Court with Kaya. Kaya was a problem. Kaya was somebody who was just like, girl, you are literally your inner saboteur is getting the best of you, and you literally trying to tank this whole situation. We trying to move this show up to be in a bigger, better place, and you just over here trying to fuck up the thing. Whereas Craig has been, your typical sassy, messy homosexual, and he's going to say the things that we're all thinking. Similar to what I do on this show. Like I say, I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to hobnob. If I run into celebrities, oh, well, okay, hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. But I'm not going to sit up in here and hold my damn tongue because y'all not watching this show for me to just give y'all a Disney 5 version. I may have to hire a co-host that could be more the diplomatic one. Remember when I had Drinks and Drag and I was always the messy one? And then we had Lindsay that would come on and be like, now, like, bring it back a little bit. And she would have to be more the diplomatic one, which worked. Because it was like, yeah, y'all here for the mess. Y'all like the drama. But then when we bring the drama, then you want to get mad. It's like, okay, first of all, take your bipolar meds, figure it out. Like, what is it what more do you want? Do you want us to give the roast and the gags and be funny and messy? Or do you want us to just curb our tongue? Because if we curb the tongue, then it's boring, and then we being biased, and we're not being truthful, which is what y'all have accused T.S. Madison of being a lot of. So I like the fact that she has a co-host who can kind of balance it out, where he brings the mess, but I don't think he's doing it in a mean, malicious way. He's calling things out, but it also goes to show that Tamar is somebody who could dish it, but can't take it. So I do have the clip of the whole thing that went down, in case y'all didn't see it. It is a bit lengthy. It's about 4 minutes. I was thinking, I don't know, it depends. While we going in and we playing this, I may have to stop and start it and give a little commentary because I was like, wait, where is it? Because I do not want to. Oh yeah, I found it because I was like, what is going on? Because I had it the whole damn time, and then all of a sudden now my damn computer wants to refresh, and I had to scroll down a little bit to find the video, but I got it. Hold on. We're gonna play her in case y'all didn't hear it. So yeah, she was in the audience. She decided to go in on Craig and ask him, well, how come, you always got something to say about me, and why you saying that my sisters need to reprimand me on, the things that I say. So we'll come back and talk right after this. Please hold.
You hold my feet to the fire about giving my opinion about how I feel about things, but then you get on this platform and say what the fuck you want to say, and then you want my sister to hold me accountable about my opinion when you're doing the same thing, and I'm just confused about that.
Okay, well, let me clarify some things for you. He about to clarify.
No, I'm tripping.
No, he
because it is good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But the difference is I'm the economic one.
You're in your feelings now.
This is what we do. But you want to criticize me and make it seem like I'm being shady and nasty, and when that is not the case. Come on, Kurt. I'm just stating my opinion like you do. So I would like to understand. I will post this question to you, Frank, because I like you.
Now wait, sister, wait. Now tell me, sister, you like it. Now you do like it.
I do.
And I like you. And I like you.
So what is the difference between what we do?
Okay, here's what I want to say. Hold on, y'all let my two sisters have their conversation. Not too much, bitch. Let me say this. First and foremost, it is not my intention to try to tear you down in front of these people.
Are you sure?
I want you to listen and not interrupt. I didn't interrupt you. I just want you to listen. I just want you to listen and not interrupt.
But you interrupted me, but that's okay.
Did I?
You did.
Okay, sister, let him get his point across now. Come on, Greg.
It should be in front of all those people.
Okay, I'm not going to let you finish, and then I'm going to say what I want to say.
Girl, say it.
Don't give me girl, because I didn't disrespect you.
You sure you got your titties out?
Don't give me girl. If you give me girl, if you give me girl, I'm going to cross the line. You're treading in the water of disrespect. Well, I'm trying not to go there with you. I'm trying not to go there with you. And so what I was going to say, sister, let him get it out. This is a part of what I was saying about you on the show. I said on the show, if you and I were friends in real life, I said you and I have a rapport. We've talked on Instagram, but if you and I were friends in real life, these are the things that I would say to you, because for me, in my real life, and I have real friends here in the audience, I can't be friends with you if I can't be honest with you. I'm not. Let him finish this. The problem is, you don't like constructive criticism.
Bitch, I
See, now it's girl, now it's bitch. Now, if I cut you up in here, then you can block me and tear the black woman down. If I put you up in here, then it's a black man tearing the black woman down. You can't even listen constructively. You can't even listen. I didn't go wrong. If you listen to the room, they're on my side. Not yours. Okay. Well,
all right, so y'all pretty much got the gist of what they were saying. So Tamar got to say what she wanted to say, and you know what? She's valid in her point. She has a right to feel how she feels, especially if somebody's going to come out and say things about her. However, I will say this. That was not the time nor the place for her to be doing that. Like, you literally came up in there, you wanted your moment, in the words of like Jasmine Kennedy to Maddie Morphosis, you want your moment, have it, and you went up in there and decided to have your little moment, and whereas I feel like if it was that serious, T.S. Madison, y'all a good girl. I mean, y'all are good Judies. Y'all are good friends. You could have slithered your way backstage to have a private conversation with Craig to let him know how you felt. Instead, what you wanted to do, you wanted to get up in there and have your moment. Like I said, you want to put on a show. You wanted to hijack this show from Craig and Maddie. Y'all wanted to go viral. It's funny. Craig said he didn't realize the show was, this whole situation was going to child. He said it wasn't going to go viral. First of all, you can't be that damn obtuse where you didn't think that, okay, somebody recording this and putting up on social media, that this is not red meat for, the Maddie Mob haters. People are just in the whole blog space, like the Neighborhood Talk, the shade, black blog media that are going to be talking about it, myself and other pundits who have talked about it. The Armand Wiggins, who else? I'm sure Trashy K probably talked about it too, even though she talked about she don't like Maddie, but she always got her name, like her and her dick in her mouth. Or, you have Mims, make it make sense. All the other, I'm sure all the pundits or whatever that usually that occupy the same spaces that I occupy, we're talking about it. So it's viral. Obviously, if you got a Tamar Braxton going against a commentator and an author like Craig, of course it's going to go viral. Everybody was talking about it. It was on the Neighborhood Talk. It was on all the Instagram blogs, and everybody was talking about it. It was viral. It's all over Twitter. Like this video, I pulled it from Twitter. It's on TikTok. I've been seeing it all over the place. That's why I was like, I couldn't wait to bring this. But I was mad because I had to work yesterday. I was doing the WWE and MSG. So that's why I wasn't able to do the show yesterday. But I'm here today talking about it. So, but here's the thing. I think, Tamar, you can't be obtuse either to not realize that when you and Craig and myself, we'll all lump it, we occupy the same space. You occupy the space of celebrity news and gossip. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, even though you said it was 3 years ago. The whole thing about Candy, you was throwing shade at her restaurants, which is being sued for not paying a back rent. We talked about that the other day. And you went into, oh, that was 3 years ago. But yeah, you occupy the same space Craig does. You say certain things that's shady, and then people drag you for it. But that's that's the name of the game. That's part of the job. Then when we come over here, we have to we give constructive criticism, but what the angle I try to do is like, yeah, I roast and gag and I throw shade, but also what I do is I try to bring y'all a nuanced version of the thing. I try to show y'all different sides of the whole coin. I don't want to just be biased going in on one person because you may feel a way about them unless you're just an insufferable human being. And then I go in and just drag you by your scalp. Like a Nutmeg McCain or somebody like that. Somebody who just insufferable. And from what they were saying was like, they were eating her up in that audience. That the audience turned against her because of what she was doing. And here's another thing a lot of you people need to understand. Especially like I said, this is why I don't fool out loud with tilapia. I love women. I respect women. But I'm talking about the tilapia. The ones that run up in here and be like, y'all want to kiki with the gays. But then when they get out of pocket, you want to go girl, or you being sassy, or you drop certain words, but y'all know what that is. That's code for the F word. That's what y'all doing. So it's like you trying to call me everything else but a faggot. Just like when white people do it to black folks, you say DEI or woke because you can't say nigga. Because if you said that word, somebody will go oops upside your head. So y'all try to find other ways to get around that. And now Tamar went on and said later on, because Craig did bring this up yesterday on his, or last night, I should say, close to midnight, he did like a live or whatever on YouTube. And he basically talked about it. He said that they hugged it out, but I already knew that because I saw the picture. So after everything that happened, whether she did end up getting in a photo, it was her, Craig, they was all lovey-dovey kissing up all on each other. And then Madison was in the picture along with Laverne Cox, because Laverne Cox was there too, as well as Don Lemon. So yeah, all the Fergs was in the building. And they said Emil Wimbledon was there. Emil Wimbledon, used to work over at Vibe magazine. So it was a big celeb fest up in New York. So they kissed and made up. They worked it out. She said that she did not know that saying girl and bitch and all the other stuff to a gay man is fighting words. Sis, you live in Atlanta. You surrounded by a whole bunch of sissies and punks. How did you not know that? You cannot see it, and this is the thing I don't understand too. Y'all can't be running around using our lingo. Reading, shade, the gag is, Miss Girl, honey, all these other words that we be out here saying. Y'all can't be sitting up out here hijacking our lingo and making it famous over on the Housewives of Atlanta and your little reality shows and beyond, but then don't understand what it's like to be a gay man, especially a black one, in America, and what we have to endure. And the funny thing, and I will say this, well, it's not really funny, but I'll say this. Craig showed a whole lot of restraint. Because if it was me, I would have ripped your hair from the rooter to the tutor with the reads and the roasts and the gags. Not physical, but I would have read you down to the floor. I would have dragged you. I would have verbally assassinated you. You would have went home crying. You would have really been sitting at home contemplating your life. You would have been so mad. You would have called up Iyanla to come fix your life a second time. That's how bad I would have roasted your ass. Because what you're not going to do is sit up in here and disrespect me on my stage when this is my show and think you're going to try to outread me. First of all, what y'all need to learn, you will never outread a queen. You won't. You won't outread a femme queen or a butch queen, which is basically how I identify. And how Craig identifies, I would think. He would be fit more in the category of butch queen. And what you have to realize too, girl, bitch, all those words that he was saying, they making the comment, oh, you got your titties out. Like when you say certain things, like, oh, so now you're trying to throw words at me because you're making fun of me being an effeminate gay man. So those are fight words. You know that that's what that is. You cannot be pushing 50 and not know, like, there's certain words that are, and this is why I said there's a lot of women that's like Dr. Heavenly, a bunch of them, that is like, oh, you cool with the gays until they say something that pisses you off. Then y'all go into that little purse and pull out your little reeds and those certain isms that you want to go after. So what y'all both need to realize that when you're going to occupy this space, You're going to encounter people that are not going to like what you say, but you also have to develop a thick skin, which is what I had. It took me a while to develop mine because I know if I be in this space talking about people, I have to have a thick skin too. And you can say whatever you want to say until you get out of pocket. Then I'm gonna drag your ass, like I said, and that goes for anybody. Because I can take constructive criticism, but then when you try to go there and try to go above and beyond and be a little extra, then it's like, okay, now I gotta bring your ass back down to earth because now you floating. Now you getting a little too cute. And I got to remind you, bitch, you playing a very dangerous game with your mouth. So I'm glad that they actually worked it out. I'm glad there's no beef between them or whatever. But also Tamar, you gotta be, if you're gonna dish it, you gotta be able to take it. And you should know that by now. And you are one of those girls that just, to me, it can't seem like you can accept criticism. But I should also mention this because I was talking about Craig and his live. If y'all want to see the full thing where he breaks it on down, y'all can do that. He was a little long-winded. I was going to show y'all the clip, but I was like, oh, child, you taking like 5 minutes to get to the damn point. So I'll just give it to you in the cliff notes. So basically what he said was that, like I said before, she didn't know that saying those words or whatever to him was fighting words. It's like, girl, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. Then she was, he said that they worked it out and all this other stuff. And then, but I also have to say this too. I was waiting for if Funky Donnie was going to say something because every time when he's on his show, he always feels like he hangs out with Tamar a lot. And he was like, no, if it was me, I'd have cussed you out. And I said the same thing. But Craig said that the reason why he didn't go there with her, because a lot of people was hitting him up on social media. A lot of people was texting him in private. A lot of people in the audience turned on her. They was all team him and not team Tamar in the way she was acting. I think it was also that trigger, but she be doing too much. But he said the reason why he didn't cut her up where he could have went there and showed a lot more restraint because he said that he has made it a promise that he said that I'm going to protect Black women, that I can't be out here saying that I'm going to do this and be a representation for the Black community. And I'm not going to, when situations like this comes down, I'm not going to follow that situation. And I'm sitting there like, oh no, there's exceptions. Like I will protect you when need be. But what you're not going to do is sit up in here and steamroll over me. That when they go low, we go high days, those are over. But you got Michelle Obama up in here doing a damn podcast with her brother. Like, who's going to watch that? So don't nobody care about that when they go low, we go high. We are in an era of Jasmine Crockett telling Elon Musk to fuck off. And that's where we are now in this whole era. Is like, I ain't got time to play nice with people. You come at me, like when they go low, I circle the 5 rings of hell. That's where I'm going with that. So I say all this to say I'm glad that they worked it on out. I'm glad that Craig and Tamar had their little kumbaya. They had a little beef situation, and he did say this because he has been notorious for reading Billy Porter and his bottom teeth. So he said. So they were saying, Chad, could you imagine if you doing y'all fag talk and Billy Porter is up in the audience? First of all, Billy Porter is not mingling with Black folk, not those Black folks. He gonna be up in them room with them Black folks that got that assimilation or adjacentness to white people. I don't see him at a fag talk. I don't see him kikiing with the likes of a T.S. Madison. He will kiki with a Laverne Cox before he kikis. And y'all know the difference of what I'm saying, the type of trans woman they are. Laverne comes across as very demure and mindful. T.S. Madison a little too gutter. And I like, the ratchetness from her. But I also like Laverne Cox. Laverne Cox is somebody who's highly intelligent, but she can get gutter if you want. I mean, if she needs to. So it's just that showing that different side. Maddie's just her all day. And you'll hear Laverne say, well, I can't do certain things that other people do because I have a certain image that I have to uphold. It's not her being fake. It's just the fact that she has to occupy other spaces, these different spaces that a lot of people aren't afforded to. So I say all this to say to you guys, what do you guys think of this story? Did you see that? Well, besides seeing it when I showed it to y'all, what do y'all think of the situation between Tamar and Craig and the fact that they worked it out? And yeah, both of y'all need to realize if y'all gonna occupy this YouTube personality, pundit, entertainment news pundit space, that yeah, when y'all talking about celebrities, you're gonna be running into them people, and then you just gonna have to stand 10 toes down on what you say, or if you have to be willing to explain to them why I said what I said. But also, Tamar, you need to learn to listen and listen to learn, and not just be out here in your feelings. You're gonna ask me a question, and when I try to answer, you're gonna continue to interrupt me. You're gonna try to throw a read in. You're gonna try to stick the little knife and twist it, because when you do that, then all of a sudden I'm going red. I don't hear nothing, and all of a sudden, remember how Nene turned into Nene when she went and got into it with Claudia Jordan? That's gonna be me to you. So let me know what you get. What you think of this story in the comments down below. All right. Oh my God, I totally forgot to mention this because I wanted to bring that up in the whole situation. So the Braxtons got renewed for season 2. So there's some news on that. Because remember, she said that she's an Emmy nominated, Tamar, when she went in on Craig, oh, we Emmy nominated. But I'm like, but bitch, you didn't win. So is it a flex to actually admit that you are Emmy nominated person, celebrity? You have, Emmy nominated in what way? Is it the show? So yeah, so I guess we could get ready to spend a little more time with Tony, Tawana, Trina, Tamar, and Mama Evelyn, because WeTV just greenlit a second season of the Braxtons. So the Braxtons, and according to Ellie, said helped create a new genre by being one of the first families to open up their lives and authentic selves to the world on television, and they're still doing it. This is according to Brett Dismuke, head of content at WeTV and All Black. Saying viewers and fans are thrilled to see Tony, Tawana, Trina, Tamar, and Miss Evelyn back on their screens in an elevated docuseries format, and demanded more. He continued, so we are delighted to see the ladies return for more and thankful that they trust WeTV to once again tell their story with the utmost care, respect, and integrity. Well, I'm surprised that they went back to WeTV, because remember all the drama that Tamar was like, it was a toxic environment, and I think she even thought about at one point taking her own life because of the toxicity that she said that she was dealing with over at WeTV. So, and I'm going to admit, while I like Braxton family values, I'm not going to hold you, but I was vehemently underwhelmed by this show. I thought it was just too much. The therapy sessions, I was like, okay, this is cute or whatever. I'm glad that they're trying to work out their situation, because we need more Black folks or people of color in therapy. I do feel like therapy is very important. Then there was a lot of the drama stuff where Tamar was keeping her distance away from her sisters and all that other stuff. So it just felt like the same old, like the girls really wasn't working out their situations with each other, where, Trina actually was the one to see their sister Tracy pass away. So she's been dealing with the trauma of that, and she's been self-medicating by drinking a lot of alcohol. Then you have Tawanda and Tamar going through their drama. Tony's off doing her own thing, where she damn near died because, and she's been, I guess, a liability for the residency and all this other stuff because she's going through her ailments, and she wanted to keep certain parts of her health a secret because they're going to look at her as that we don't want to risk taking out insurance on someone who's got all these ailments. And then Evelyn doing Evelyn. We don't really see the other family. Then you got Tracy's son got arrested. It was just a whole bunch of drama that was going on last season. And then after a certain point, I was like, it's just too much. I'm checking out. It's not really grabbing me like the old show did. The fun aspect that I like there was a balance. There was the drama, but it was also those moments where the sisters would get together. They would turn any little opportunity into a song. They would act silly. So it wasn't always about the drama with me. I just like the whole thing of seeing family dynamic and all those things. But it just became a little too it was just too heavy. Like this season of the Braxtons. I'll check out season 2 and see if it fares better. But I'm not all that enthused. So we'll see how WeTV handles season 2. So good on you, Tamar. You got another check coming in, instead of you trying to read people on at their own events. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the Braxtons being renewed for season 2? Are you excited, or you just don't care and the show just needs a sachet away? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, so I was like, damn, I forgot to connect that Braxton story together, but let's see. Not the Braxtons. I saw that. But yeah, let's go up and see some of the comments up in here, because I saw when I was doing the comments, some of y'all up in here was living for Craig getting read by Tamar. They Live movie reminds me of current time. I do love They Live. And you know what? I've had many conversations with my friends when we hang out, and we were saying, like, yeah, They Live definitely needs a remake. And I do feel like it needs to be remade. It'll be interesting to see how they make it work, how they work it out. Could they still use they probably could still use the shades angle where you put on the shades and then all of a sudden he could read like it said obey and all this other stuff. But it's kind of like, you know, trailers and like commercials, advertisements, how they are programming people. So I do feel like they could still do that. I just feel like they need to get a little more intense with like the action and stuff, whereas the original film played into that. But I would really like to go a little more gritty with it. So I'd like to see a remake of They Live. I need a full Dark Tower film series and Silver Bullet. I love Silver Bullet. I don't want them to touch that movie only because Corey Haim is in it. But if they came up with a cool idea about Silver Bullet, I'd check it out, and they better still leave him in a wheelchair. But yeah, oh, and Dark Tower, they definitely remake that one because Dark Tower was terrible. When I saw Tamar speak out, I fell out. Craig will always be mad he's not understudy, thinking he better than the average person because he graduated from Harvard, not even top of his class 30 years ago, not putting a diploma to good use. Well, it looks like I mean, he's out here doing Phag talk. He got his books. He got his pay, what you say, and all that other stuff. So I guess he's doing good, unless y'all trying to say like, oh, you one of those typical, you know, Atlanta stunt queens where y'all out here trying to act like y'all celebrity is bigger than what it actually is. And Tamar needs to stay off the internet, baby. None of your other exactly. None of her other sisters be out here getting in mess. She the only one. Get him, Craig. Like get him, Jade. Tamar wants to be one of the queen. Exactly. She definitely does. It's like y'all, you know, and this whole time of how y'all love using our lingo and stuff. Just because y'all heard a bunch of black queens saying a couple of phrases and y'all ran with it. Not surrounded by sissies in Atlanta. I just think it's crazy that Craig says he gonna have dinner with Tamar after all this. She just showed the entire world she doesn't respect him whatsoever. And my thing is, I'm not interested in trying to kiki and be friends with somebody who is not willing to listen and learn. It's just like, yeah, if you have a right to feel away or how you feel that you felt okay, you went a little too hard. Like sometimes when I be talking about people on here, y'all be in the comment, not too much, not too much. Like Sailor Mermaid was like, not too much when I went in on Britney. But that was on Facebook. Cause her son was doing something, and first of all, I gotta give it up, Jaden. He really plays the piano good. I saw that footage, and she's over there making these weird noises. I'm like, is she doing vocal warm ups, or is she having an organ, or is she what I say? Or I think I said one of her multiple personalities is making coming out or something or another. So he's like, not too much, not too much. I'm like, look, she acting weird on social media, and if people talking about, oh, she just being silly. Okay, y'all gonna keep making excuses for Brittany, then whatever. I'm not gonna talk to y'all. But if y'all gonna go in on Wendy and some of the others, which we're about to get into Wendy in a second, then what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like Tamar said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, not the Braxtons. I'd rather not Urkel Reborn. I just saw this picture the other day. I think it was 2 days ago, where they were showing like Urkel on a basketball court with who he's with, Mario Lopez, who is trash because I just saw him hanging out with the Tate brothers, and they got the nerve to going on James Kennedy. And we're about to get into that story coming up soon. I mean, as well. I was going to say too and soon. But yeah, we got that story coming up. And JD Roth, remember him? JD Roth used to host like those Nickelodeon, what was it, those game shows and all that stuff. John Carpenter is a key. I do love me some John Carpenter. He was like one of my all-time favorite directors. I told you, I did a whole, or maybe y'all don't know, I did a whole thesis on John Carpenter films. It was like part of my film school study. Not replace the shades with a red hat. That'll be a little too on the nose. When I watch old episodes of the Queen Supreme Court, Craig will be promoting his online greeting card. Honestly, reading Craig. You just don't like Craig. I don't feel no ways tied, but like I said, people have a right to feel. Oh yeah, they definitely. Well, they need to remake it a second time because remember it is the Village of the Damned that John Carpenter did was a remake. I do feel like Village of the Damned needs a remake. I saw the original one in the black and white one wasn't bad. Then I saw the Village of the Damned one. It needs to be better. So I feel like we do have the wherewithal to remake the film and it actually worked. But yeah, they need to do that with them damn alien children. But anyway, let's move on, y'all. And let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? So yesterday, Wendy Williams was going around. She got her psych evaluation and that to basically see if she was mentally capable of, not being with the dementia and aphasia. And we do have the results of that. But at first, she got sent to a private hospital. There was a whole bunch of other stuff coming on. This is what gagged me. So they said that she got taken to the hospital after she dropped a note from the window of her assisted living facility that read, "Help, Wendy." And it was in with exclamation points. So the former Wendy Williams show host has been under financial guardianship since 2022. Last year, her care team announced that she had been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, which she was like, I don't got no damn dementia. If y'all out here saying I got dementia, let me go to the doctor and prove to y'all that my memory is not capacitated or incapacitated. So Page Six reported that New York police were called to the facility shortly after 11:15 a.m. on Monday to do a wellness check. She then walked into a waiting ambulance while being escorted by officers. So now an insider exclusively told the U.S. Sun that Wendy, who's 60, was sent to the hospital on Monday after an adult protective services case was opened on her last week. The insider claimed Wendy's civil rights and liberty are being denied and further accused the guardianship of enabling elder abuse. And you want to know something? Based on everything we've seen so far, I believe every last damn word of it. I do believe that there's been elder abuse going on Wendy. The issue, what they did not expect. First of all, y'all went after the wrong woman because you already know Wendy has said many a times, I'm good at hatching a plan. And I believe that when she set this plan in motion, and using her industry friends like the Breakfast Club and TMZ and Don Lemon and so many other people, even Jason Lee, that got the ball rolling and people really investigating what was going on up in here. They really did not expect because like she was saying that she do feel like, and I'm sure it would not be surprised if there's a lot of other people, a lot of these older people who don't have the platform that Wendy has, was up in there doing all kinds of elder abuse. I'm sure those people probably getting elder abuse too. But they wasn't expecting Wendy to do what she did, and now she's exposed them. And hopefully, what happens is the exposure puts a lot of them heifers out of a damn job, and people start doing these redundant because social work is a mess, and the way that y'all be treating people is a mess. And Sabrina, ain't nothing good gonna come to you until you do right by Wendy. Because when I tell you the rest of the story, y'all gonna hate Sabrina even damn more. Because the word on the street is she been using Wendy money to pay for her own legal fees. Like, how you using her money? You're supposed to be a guardian. And she's in a guardianship. You're supposed to be using your own damn money to be paying for something. Now, how you doing the same exact thing her son has been doing to her, which got her in this guardianship in the first place? Demonic. Child, I'm about to cuss this woman out, but let me focus. So they said the insider claimed Wendy's civil rights and liberty are being denied and further accused the guardianship of enabling elder abuse. The source claimed that Wendy's guardian, Sabrina, sent the iconic daytime TV host to visit her father in Florida with an empty credit card. The guardian gave her a credit card with no funds when she went to Miami. During her trip to see her father in Miami last month for his birthday, the credit card given to her by Sabrina was declined and someone else had to pay for her purchases, and that's elder abuse, the insider alleged. Meanwhile, the guardian is spending all her money hiring lawyers to defend herself and squandering Rennie's money on legal fees. Sabrina is currently in a legal battle with Lifetime over the Where is Wendy Williams documentary and has her own attorney representing her in that case and on Wendy's dime. Now, if this proves to be true that you actually digging into Wendy's finances, you need to be cleaned the fuck out. You need to be put out of a job. You're not qualified to be anybody's guardian. You probably can't even guardian your damn self. And if it comes to find out that you've been spending this lady's money on your own personal situation, you need to be sued and you need to be forced into bankruptcy because we know you ain't got the money to be able to live, at the same level as Wendy Williams. And you need to pay all that damn money back with interest. Because if you robbing me, it's on like Donkey Kong. So now they said it's unclear if there are additional legal battles in which Sabrina has hired counsel in her guardianship over Wendy. The insider confirmed that Wendy's evaluation on Monday is not connected to the evaluation that is scheduled as part of the lawsuit with Lifetime to determine whether Wendy is able to participate in that legal action. Now, on Monday, Wendy was transported from the senior living facility she is being held in to a local New York City hospital as part of the investigation into the Adult Protective Services case being leveled against Wendy's guardianship. The NYPD responded to the U.S. Sun's request about Wendy's welfare check and her transportation to the hospital. They said on Monday, March 10th, the NYPD responded to a welfare check. EMS responded and transported a 60-year-old female to an area hospital for evaluation. This is what the NYPD said in response. The U.S. Sun has reached out to Wendy's guardian Sabrina for comment. You know, her old ass ain't saying nothing. Wendy's been extremely vocal, as y'all know, about her treatment under the restrictive guardianship and has called the facility she is in a luxury prison. The former Wendy show host has repeatedly claimed that she is being held captive in the memory unit of her senior living facility and is unable to exit the floor as the elevator needs a key to operate it. And they said this stems from the fact that the reason why she's caught up in this whole situation is because when she was given free reign on a different floor, she decided to go up to, I guess, one of the restaurants on the rooftop and got liquored up. So with that, they was like, oh no, we got to keep her under lock and key because we can't let her roam free because she doesn't left on her own devices. This is what happens. Which I will say this, while I don't like her in this conservatorship, I don't like this treatment that she's undergoing. What I do hope is that when she gets out of this, that she can maintain her sobriety. And I think that's what some people are also worried about is the fact that, once we give you your freedom back, is she going to go back to her old behaviors, her old habits? Is she going to go back to getting liquored up, which caused her to be in the situation she's in the first place? Because you were self-medicating, you were dealing with a lot of stuff you were dealing with. I get it. You had a low-down, dirty dog of a husband who was out cheating. Your son was probably feeling neglected, so he out here spending up your damn money, making it rain on your dime, while your husband making some old dusty bitch cheeks clap. And then, of course, when it come down to, her getting knocked up with the baby, the bastard child, now you're like, okay, all bets is off. But you was willing to look the other way while your man was out here slipping his dick and anything else with a pulse. And that's the cross you have to bear. That's on her. That's what she had to deal with. And then on top of that, then you had her mother died. So, and then the pandemic. So I could understand when you've got like so many things happening to you, what do you do? So I could totally understand why she did what she did. But now she's done the work. She's gotten herself much better. And, now she's ready to get back into society. Hopefully she can maintain her sobriety and we'll just see. But in other news that we should get to, Wendy Williams is expected to make an appearance this week, as in Friday, on The View. So the 60-year-old talk show host will be making her first national television appearance since her shocking dementia diagnosis. This is according to ABC. And this is what they said on Sunday. So she'll be joining the ladies of The View on Friday, March 14th, even as she wages a legal battle to end her guardianship. Wendy has lately made attempts to speak out via phone from her assisted living facility, where she has been kept on a restrictive memory unit that gives her few privileges and little right of movement. Although Wendy will be back on TV, it's unclear if viewers will get to see her live, as ABC's announcement indicates that she will be doing a phone interview with The View hosts, who include Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, Sunny Hostin, Anna Navarro, and Alyssa Farrah Griffin. Well, that remains to be seen because, if it is on Friday, Whoopi doesn't work Fridays. And I don't know if Whoopi is actually going to be in there to do it that day. More than likely, it's going to be her day off unless she makes an exception and y'all bring her in, because this is going to be a big story that we need to focus on. I really wish these women would slip away from politics and get to more other interesting things, because the propaganda they've been spewing as of late from the liberal side has been sending me. But this stuff, I'm here for. The fact that y'all giving Wendy a platform to come on there, I'm hoping it's an in-person situation, because I would love to see her outside of the space of her on the phone. And then somebody, like when we saw the documentary on Tubi from TMZ, where you had a camera pointed up at her window while she's on the phone and giving an interview. If y'all could actually give us something outside of that, that would be great. But I don't even know if the facility will allow her to come on the show, but we'll have to see when it happens. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. Now, in other news, like I was telling you, so we could wrap this up, about her evaluation that she had endured, from to see if she had the dementia and the frontal temporal, all that stuff, and the aphasia, I mean. So they said that she might be one step closer to freedom, because her psychiatrist, a psychiatrist, examined her and said that her mental capacity is fully intact. So who in the hell? I was gonna say, who in the hell let the gate open? Remember that? But who in the hell diagnosed her with this frontal temporal dementia and aphasia? Who diagnosed her with that? Because like I told y'all, Bruce Willis has the same diagnosis. And I've just heard stories that came out maybe, a week or two ago, that he has lost the ability to speak. So he can't talk no more. Like all his communication devices based off of this disease, he can no longer speak. Wendy still got her mouth. So who went and actually diagnosed her? That's what I want to find out. So they said during her trip to New York City's Lenox Hill Hospital from the assisted living facility, the 6-year-old talk show host was evaluated by a psychiatrist. And on Monday, sources told TMZ that Williams received a perfect score on a capacity test administered by the psychiatrist. According to sources, Wendy was administered a 10-item questionnaire that was designed to determine her awareness and decision-making abilities, and she scored a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10, 10 out of 10, 10, 10 out of 10. Shout out to Cobra, on the test. Now, although one test alone doesn't give a full picture of her mental capacity, the fact that she passed the test with flying colors may indicate that she is far more aware than her guardian has indicated. Williams has previously been diagnosed, as y'all know, with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, blah, blah, blah. So, so they also said that the exam Williams underwent was not to dispute her dementia diagnosis. However, the results of the test will reportedly be shared with the judge who has been overseeing her guardianship. So, with her getting and having the test and all this other stuff, I'm really hoping that she gets out of this. We definitely want her out of this conservatorship or the guardianship, because the way that they've been treating her is just inhumane based off of what she's been saying. And then, it's just been a hot ass mess. So I'm here for you, Wendy. We're rooting for you to get out of this situation. And what I'm hoping is that, this whole evaluation, all this other stuff that's coming out, that she will have her, the chance to be free. They'll be mad that they basically now, and we'll see, like, post all of this, will she be able to come back? I'm not saying, because everybody's been saying, oh yeah, we want Wendy back on TV. Just pump your brakes. Slow your roll. We don't necessarily, just give her a minute to get her bearings. I do feel like Wendy could possibly jump back into the podcasting space or whatever. Make sure she got all her stuff together. She's been doing the work. If she wants to get back to being busy and doing celebrity news and gossip, which is her wheelhouse, definitely bring her in. But I do feel like that she needs a co-host. Like the way that we know Wendy from when she was on the Wendy Williams show, and then she was doing the radio stuff back in the day. That Wendy is not there anymore. Yes, she may have aced this test, but I don't think that she's as sharp as she once was. But then again, who is? I mean, shit, I'm in my 40s and I'm like, my brain, trust and believe, I can say the stuff, but y'all know I be having these brain farts when I'm doing this show. So it happens. But I feel like with her situation, because it was funny and we did hear Wendy saying certain things, I would definitely think that she would probably work with a co-host or something or another and do a show maybe 3 times a week instead of 5. I want to see how she is. So good luck, Wendy. We're still out here rooting for you. I know I am. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this story in regards of the latest on Wendy Williams? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Okay, let's see what everybody is saying. It said if she could recall people, places, dates, and times, free her. Exactly. I think she should have weekly mandatory counseling, though. Can't hurt. That's what I was thinking too. It's like she could like post her freedom, mandatory counseling. Also, someone who could be like a sober coach to make sure that she stays on the right track and she's not drinking. I do feel because drinking out, alcohol is a disease that you're gonna be fighting to the day you die. So I do hope that there are things that are going to be put into place to keep her on the right track and just keep her busy, keep her working, keep her away from the alcohol and those other stuff. Like just have all these things in place where somebody could be checking in on her. So I'm definitely feeling like that is probably what's going to happen. And I believe her niece Alex said that was what's going to happen. So I'm here for it. I definitely feel like Wendy is going to get herself together. But look, she grown. She could, at the end of the day, Wendy's a grown woman. And it's up to her to stay on the straight and narrow because we wasn't all out here windmilling hard for you, only for you to go back to being a mess. That would be good for her weekly therapy section. Yeah, I like that idea. It's a phone interview. I wanted to see her walk up there like Kamala did. Well, if she does, she would have to have somebody help her. Or I don't even think she would walk. They would introduce her. She'll already be at the Hot Topics table because you already know Wendy has she struggles to walk a lot of times. With any addiction, it's up to you to keep it going. Exactly. Maybe she should bring back Norman to keep her on track and be the Phag to her hag. Well, some people been asking what's been going on with Norman. Like, we haven't heard from Norman in a while. So, we'll see. But we heard from Suzanne, though. All right, y'all. So let's move on to this story. Let's talk about James Kennedy, who's being dragged on social media for hobnobbing and taking a photo with the Tate brothers, Tristan and Andrew Tate. And after that picture, he did take it down after the backlash. He issued an apology, but the Tates had to jump in on the conversation and drag him down to the floor for all of a sudden deleting the photo. But let's get into this. So the 31-year-old Vanderpump Rules alum, who was spotted ordering drinks from the free VIP bar, was all smiles as he chatted up Andrew and Tristan Tate during the sold-out slap fighting promotional event. This was at there was a UFC match. Not only did he take a photo with them, Mario Lopez did too. And I'm sitting there like, Mario, you have daughters. When you out here hobnobbing with men who are accused of sex trafficking and openly admitted it on YouTube in one of their little videos, they admitted it on how you can get away with sort of thing. The incels, they openly admit this stuff now because they know nothing will be held against them. So the former kickboxers, aged 36 and 38, have denied all wrongdoing involving their 6 legal investigations into SA and human trafficking, 4 criminal and 2 civil, currently pending in Romania, the UK, and Florida, which has people pissed off because it's like, well, how did Trump have them coming from Romania into the United States? So it's okay for robber barons, oligarchs, criminals, terrorists, rapists, all these other things to come in America. But God forbid you actually protest for Palestine, then you need to be deported. Even when you have a green card that allows you to stay in the United States, make that make sense. But you can't make it make sense when you live in an alternate universe where the idiots are running the sane asylum. So hours later, James, whose father is Aegon Records managing director Andros Georgiou, isn't that George Michael actual name? And Godfather, oh yeah. Child, now how did I just say that? Because I was just like, Andros Georgiou, and I said George Michael, right? His godfather is George Michael. Because I was like, wait a minute, I know I knew that name. So he performed the energetic DJ gig at the nearby Live nightclub as part of his residency. Because, he is a DJ. And he's done like Coachella and all that other stuff. He says, I regret posting a video with the Tate brothers at the event last night. Kennedy, who boasts 1.4 million. Child, he's that important? I don't even like James Kennedy. First of all of them over at Vanderpump Rules are irritating. There's like not one redeeming quality of anybody on that show, but people actually love the show. And the only time I got into the show, Vanderpump Rules, was because of the whole Scandival situation. After that, I was like, I was in and I was out. So they said he has 1.4 million social media followers, wrote on Insta story on Saturday. I was unfamiliar with the content and the allegations against them. I only knew them as podcasters who have posted a viral clip about Vanderpump. I have since educated myself and condemned their beliefs. I'm sorry to all that I have offended. And you want to know something based on this picture? I'm going to call your ass a liar. Like, you cannot sit over here and have us thinking that, yeah, you only knew them because they said something about Vanderpump Rules, whatever that is. So because there was an association with a reality show that you was on, that's why you wanted to keep with them. But Tristan said he's a liar. He said he was up in there begging for a photo, that he couldn't wait to get around and want to take a picture with us and hang out and all this other stuff. And you want to know something? As despicable as these two are, I actually believe them. Because there's no bottom, any of these bottom feeders like a James Kennedy would stoop just for a little notoriety with things. And I do wonder, because I haven't been on social media to even notice, did anybody drag Mario Plastic Face Lopez? Because y'all be thinking that that's used. No, that's Botox. That ain't used. Just because he's Mexican and all of this stuff don't mean that skin ain't cracking. Because trust and believe, he's doing things to keep himself trying to look younger than he actually is. But I wonder if people have actually been dragging Ms. Lopez over on social media for also taking a photo with the Tate brothers. And like I said before, you have daughters. Why would you want to be out here taking a picture with someone who has been accused of the things that they've been accused of? And say you're not familiar with their content. Trust and believe, you know what's going on. I just find it disgusting. Well, Dana White is trash, but then again, when your mama named your ass Dana, I can see why he's all upset with, life and how he had to create one of the most misogynistic sports, I guess, to kind of overcompensate for being named Dana. So you're dealing with all of that stuff and how the Trump administration and all that other stuff have hijacked the UFC. But if I'm not too forgetful, didn't James recently come out of fire for putting paws on his ex-girlfriend? Wasn't there a whole story that came out about that when he put hands on her? So yeah, I remember he broke up with his ex. And they were together for 3 years, and there's like a home situation where I guess it's like he moved out of a $1.35 million 3-bedroom Burnbank house. I'm like, damn, Vanderpump paying that kind of coin, but I guess not. He is a DJ, so he's probably making that money from that. Similar to like Paulie D, where Paulie D was already a DJ, but he was smart to use Jersey Shore as a way to parlay his DJ career. As you said, my cat Bodie really, okay, we don't care about the cat and all other stuff. And then, so it does say that in here. They said the pair split up after James was accused of lifting her up and throwing her to the ground during an argument about her sobriety on December 10th. The Burbank City Attorney's Office decided not to file misdemeanor domestic DV charges against him, and Allie declared she was happy about the decision because she was not physically hurt. So there was a whole situation that went on with that, but like I said before, to finish this up. So yeah, that's the picture, and that's his thing. And here's another thing. I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I really do not understand why is it when y'all do apologies that y'all post it in the stories and don't post it on the page. I never understand why y'all do that. So it's like, oh, so you could put out your apology, it expires in 24 hours, and then we done moved on to the next thing. Is that why y'all do that? So James, you can apologize to the cows come home, or I'm not buying it. I feel like you only apologizing because of the backlash. And there's so many of y'all out here that's so scared of repercussions because of who y'all hobnob with. Like, if you're gonna see somebody out that is a controversial, go up to them and say, hey, Kiki, keep it moving. But don't take a picture of it and put it on social media, because then everybody sees it. And everybody, I'm not saying it's right, but if you're going to be at an event and you're a fan of Andrew and Tate and Tristan Tate, knowing full on well what they stand for, Why would you want to put that out in public knowing full on well what the repercussions are going to be from people? The Tate brothers are not liked. Kind of like the Paul brothers. Logan and Jake Paul. Don't nobody like them two idiots. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this story? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. You said Andrew Tate gotta be one of the faggots. I love faggot. That's like a French faggot. It's like faggots have ever laid eyes upon child. I've traveled the world in the seven seas, not traveled the world in the seven seas. And that man is a queen. Oh, please. We all know, like, but you all know, so I kind of thought about that too. And yesterday when I was working at WWE, I'm like, there's so many closeted homosexuals up in here. Like, I could just smell it, like blood, like sharks smell blood in water. I was like, if your girlfriend wasn't with you, I know I could have just took you in the bathroom and dug out your guts. Cause y'all just give that, I smell it. It's the same thing with people like Andrew Tate, where it's just like that overcompensation, that whole misogyny thing. And just like y'all hate women so much because y'all can't be out here being your true authentic selves. And by true authentic selves, you can't live freely with a penis in your mouth and in your back, your front and your back end. Exactly. Why did you take a picture with them? And that's why I said he only apologized because of the backlash. Not, that's not all he was known for, but you know. That ain't the only thing he suck at. Yeah, it gives California privilege thirst struggles. Tate has a daughter too. That's what I said. A lot of times these men don't care. As long as these women stay in their place, right? And they wonder why women don't want relationships because look at they are supporting or interacting with it. Exactly. Dana is an unfortunate name. I low key changed it. Not Hamlet. Wait, I think you want to know something? I know a kid is. I actually had a classmate named Hamlet. I kid you not. I was like, that was a creative name to come up with, especially if you living in the hood. Somebody named their child Hamlet. They posted the pic on. Not a pump and dump. Traveled the world in the 70s. Okay. And I was thinking Annie Lennox. Have your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Wait, keep your head. Okay, Tupac. Anyway, all right, so now let's get to another controversial figure. Let's talk about Miss Karla Sofía Gascón, who is speaking out about all the drama that happened. I guess now that the Oscar season is wrapped up, and we done moved on until 2026, where we get 10 more pretentious damn movies that'll get nominated for Oscars that they probably don't deserve. Karla's speaking out about, you know, all the drama that's been going on, especially with those infamous tweets. So, in a statement, the actress who deleted her Twitter account in late January amid the controversy stated that she's committed to learning and doing better while opening up about how much the backlash impacted her mental health, saying, I would have liked to experience it more normally from the happiness of being nominated, of celebrating as I am now, full of love, a person who puts her soul and her being into her work and who gives herself to others. Well, girl, how you going to say you want to accept this? You want to feel that or experience it when you even read the Oscars and you got nominated for one? Remember, they was talking about how woke they were and was talking about the whole diverse thing. But I'm like, sis, you were part of that diverse cabinet. But I guess at the end of the day, when you're from Spain and you're white presenting, that's what they see before they see the trans part. That is like, you are a minority. You're a trans woman from another country who got this big propagation because of the Oscars. The Academy also want to nominate one of the worst movies, in my opinion, with 13 nominations. Because Emilia Perez, I'm sorry, did not deserve 13. I'm gonna keep saying it. What else don't understand? It baffles me how they were nominated for 13 damn Oscars. So she said, so then they said the actress apologized again to all that she offended at any point in my life and throughout my journey, while emphasizing her commitment to continuing to learn and listen so as to not make the same mistakes in the future. Now, in an effort to offer context but not excuses for the tweets, Gascón said that hurtful things she said and did came from fear, from my own ignorance, from my own pain. Well, that's usually where stuff comes from. It's like you either ignorant or hurt people hurt people. I'm saying that all the time. So when you've been hurt in life, you want to inflict that on other people. And she was inflicting a lot of that in her damn tweets. The anti-Muslim comments that she was making, the reads and the shade that she was throwing at the academy. And then, of course, when you got in those rooms, you forgot to delete those tweets until you were exposed in an article. Now, coming to face with prejudices and bigotry in her own life as a transgender woman, Gascón said that sometimes we put on a shield to protect ourselves so that harm does not reach our hearts, our skin, or our souls. I have my own armor too, like anyone else. It's not pretty, but it has saved my life a couple of times. At the same time, though, she argued that shield can become cold and hard on the outside and could also hurt those around you. She said, "This is what happened to me," emphasizing that it never her intent to hurt, nor is it what's in her heart. Even as Emilia Perez's role was to effort to fight for the rights of the most disadvantaged. I thought it was going to say disenfranchised. With Gascón explaining that in the film, she was defending and reflecting the life of a trans woman trapped in the worst possible place, the body of a criminal immersed with an extreme patriarchy. So you will always find me on the opposite side of fanaticism, imposition, patriarchy, fascism, dictatorship, terror, abuse, and irrationality. I'm not blind. I do not bind, myself to any political flag. I only try to be a human being in constant evolution with successes and failures. And she said that, you know what? As she moves forward, she wants to learn to listen to learn, admit mistakes, apologize, and forgive others as I forgive myself for the unnecessary pain that she's caused. So she also opened up about her struggles in the wake of the vitriol she faced following the controversial tweets, calling it the most exposed episode of my life. She cited fake accounts and tweets while others she claimed were misrepresented, saying absurd and even delirious accusations were thrown at me, which deeply hurt my spirit. Things escalated to a point and so quickly that I couldn't even breathe. She also said that throughout the unexpected, devastating storm of controversy, there were times for her when the pain had been so overwhelming, she contemplated the unthinkable, and I'm sure you can read between the lines of what she meant by that. So I harbored darker thoughts than those I considered in some of my previous, no less intimate and personal struggles. And I asked myself if I, with all my strength and preparedness to deal with rage and rejection, am on the edge, that would have become someone with fewer emotional resources to resist this onslaught. Somehow I made it. Others would not have survived this brutal winter I'm about to wrap up. Well, winter is coming, or probably just came and went, honey. So here's the thing. Learning from your mistakes is something that I feel like is very important. She was saying all this before people even know who the hell she was, not excusing the behavior. But this is why I always say, when y'all say stuff, you got to be careful with what you put on social media, because the stuff can come back to haunt you. And we are in a time where people dig into the things that you've said and done, and they like to throw it back in your face. You have to be very mindful of what you're going to put on social media, because this stuff lives on forever once you put it out in the universe, especially like if it's in digital print. I'm hoping that she'll be able to walk the walk and talk the talk, and that she'll be able to listen and learn and realize that, you know what, I am human. I make mistakes. Sometimes I'm not going to get it right. And that is something that we need to learn to do. I feel like in situations is that have a conversation, really try to understand each other in some certain ways, and then somebody confronts you on something and saying, you know what, that's not right. You can't be out here saying those things. What you're saying is incorrect, and this is why. And if you're willing to be open to the conversation, I'll have it with you, where you're actually willing to listen and learn and not be arrogant and think you know every damn thing. Because some people who are highly intelligent, they get like that, where it's like they think they know every damn thing, and then there's no getting through to them. And okay, it's like if you're gonna get like that, then I'm not gonna sit up in here and waste my time and energy on trying to actually show you a different side of what you're saying and why it's incorrect. So I'm glad that she didn't go and do the unthinkable, because I know, like, I wouldn't know what it's like to have to receive a lot of vitriol all at once from so many different people on social media because of something that you said. And then there will be some people that will take what you say out of context because all they did was read a headline or whatever the case is. And then so with that, they're like, okay, I'm going to just run with this. I'm going to just go in and let have, because I don't have no ties to this lady. But because she said these certain things, I'm going to call all kinds of B's. I'm going to use transphobic slurs. I'm going to say all kinds of stuff until I can just twist the knife until it scrapes against the bone. Fuck the flesh. We trying to get to the bone. Trying to, get beyond the white meat. So I'm glad that she's actually, learned her lesson. And then she'll just learn to have to keep this stuff off social media in the future. Just go and make your movie, sis. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Karla speaking out about the backlash that she received over her past tweets that came back to haunt her because of all this buzz, industry buzz, award season buzz that the movie Emilia Perez was getting. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. She talking about fascism, didn't she? Wait, what did I miss? It's like Yolanda saying Child, why are you just like foreshadowing my stories today? Because we're about to get into that. That is the next topic. But it was like Emilia Perez was a hot mess, but Miss Karla was deep in her meaty. Tim McRae HMI. Wait, what happened? Wait, hold on. What was that? Did I miss one? Oh, yeah, no, I saw the Ninja Please one. Okay, so now let's move on, y'all. And let's get into this next topic since it was already brought up by Miss Selena. So now, Yolanda out here trying to act like she a damn political prisoner. Girl, you are not Che Guevara. Like, get off my line with the foolishness. So now she out here playing victim when she actually took a victim's life. But nevertheless, let's get into it. So the woman convicted of unaliving Selena Quintanilla believes she has served her time as her parole eligibility fast approaches. This is according to a relative who spoke to the New York Post. So Yolanda Saldivar, the woman who was sentenced to life in prison for unaliving Selena Quintanilla, is hoping to soon be released. Saldivar, who is 64, was a close friend and business associate of the I Could Fall in Love singer before fatally pow-powing her at a Days Inn in Corpus Christi, Texas in 1995, just 2 weeks ahead of what would have been Quintanilla's 24th birthday. A family member of Saldivar told New York Post that she believes she would be freed from prison when she becomes eligible for parole. That was a tongue twister. In March 2025, as Saldivar claims that the shooting was accidental. She's been saying that for years, and we're already in March 2025. So when's it happening? Enough is enough, one of Saldivar's relatives, who went unnamed, told the outlet. She feels like she's a political prisoner at this point. She's ready to get out of jail because she believes she has more than served her time. So are you trying to say political prisoner at the point where you feel like you're being used as a political pawn? That you're in jail and they're playing politics with your situation because you're trying to get up for parole off of a murder that you committed? And you feel like I've done the crime, I've done the time, and now I'm ready to be free. But sis, I don't know if that's a good idea, because if you get out of jail, I really do not think that you have time left on this earth, because trust and believe, and you in Texas with all the Mexicans and that love Selena. Oh, you know they're about to take your ass out. See, they may not have shipped you in prison, but I could definitely see somebody on the outside shivving you in real life. because they can get to you. They can't get to you behind bars. They can't get to you past, the COs and things of that nature. But trust and believe, I'm sure there's some people out there in Texas that want to take your ass out. So you want to be free? Oh, you will be free for about 5 minutes before you meet your maker. So be careful what you wish for. So you might want to stay in that solitary confinement for the rest of your life until you really close your eyes and not have somebody take you out. Because that's really, truly feeling my gut. That's what's about to happen to you. Because there's still people out here mad that you took Tahano Queen away from them. So after so for those of you who probably don't even remember the story, but I'm sure everybody in here is very familiar with it, but anybody on the outside that be watching this. So Saliva wasn't alleged, child. I mean, she did it. Allegedly, but we'll go with it. Pow Quintanilla, after the Grammy Award winner learned that Saldivar had been embezzling money from her clothing boutiques. This is why you should have took somebody with you. 2 days after Quintanilla confronted her, Saldivar applied for a permit to purchase a gun in San Antonio, premeditated. Witnesses testified during her trial per the Associated Press. But she wound up doing a whole little documentary thingy, or a docu-series on Peacock, which I rolled my eyes watching that whole damn thing. Like, they really tried to paint her to be this innocent person. And I'm sitting there like, girl, if you don't get on my line with this foolishness. So after the red rum, Saldivar held police at bay while she sat in her pickup truck in the motel's parking lot, threatening to unalive herself. The New York Times reported she later surrendered and was charged with first-degree murder. Now, during the trial, Saldivar pleaded not guilty to murder, and her defense attorneys argued that the fatal pow-ing was a tragic accident and Saldivar was trying to unalive herself and not Quintanilla. Really? I'm not buying it. So now, in subsequent interviews, Saldivar has since maintained that the shooting was an accident, telling ABC 2020 in 1995, "They made me out to be a monster, and I just want to say I did not kill Selena. It was an accident, and my conscience is clear." She also shared in a prison interview in the Oxygen docuseries Selena and Yolanda, the secrets between them, that she was convicted by public opinion even before my trial started. Since being convicted of murder in October 1995 and sentenced to life, Saldivar has reportedly claimed that there is a bounty on her head in jail. Girl, you've been in there for 30 years. If they didn't execute that bounty, then it ain't happening. But I do believe that there's a bounty on your head once you leave. She's also applied for parole, which she will become eligible on March 30th, according to online records from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So, and then also let's not forget, Quintanilla was, her life was taken before she even completed her highly anticipated English album, Dreaming of You. Because she was working on the album, she was ready to cross over into the Anglo market, and I believe that she would have. I truly believe she would have had the career that Shakira has today had she lived. But we'll never know because she was taken away from us. So remember, the posthumous album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart on August 4th, 1995. I remember because I bought it. And remained on the list for 49 weeks. So yes, I was beady bombing for 49 weeks and beyond. And so shout out to you, girl. But like I said, I think I said all I need to say in regards of Yolanda in the video, in regards of the topic of how I feel okay, so you talking about this bounty on your head in prison. Nobody's taking you out in the 3 decades you've been behind bars. You're up for parole on the 30th of this month. Good luck. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, if you don't get it, oh well. If you do get it, girl, you better hope and pray that you survive out here in these streets post release. So I would love to hear from you on what you think of this story. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So let's go up and see these comments. You said, is Billboard hot dance pop songs chart active all the time? 2 #1s. Oh, Tate McRae? How the hell is she? They're just giving away titles, aren't they? I hear Chris is trying to make them reconsider paroling. Meaning what? That he's saying that he doesn't want her out. I mean, I could definitely see that. Not you said, and I'm sure Selena brothers and sisters gonna fight. Okay. Yolanda should have unlocked herself when she locked herself in that truck. She murdered that girl in cold blood because she couldn't deal with her lesbian desire. Well, you want to know something? That was the word on the street too. Witty too, trying to get away with the money. Just messy all around. Like you wanted to be. It's like to me, it felt like. And to me, it felt like you were just jealous of Selena. You was a fan. This is why you don't hire your fans. After that, that is a tale worth keeping track of. Don't hire your fans to be a part of your situation because I do not need a single white female type situation where you want to come in and you trying to have me all to yourself. You trying to ice out all the people that genuinely care about me. Then you stealing my money, and then you kill me. No. Oh, and speaking of which, remember the movie The Fan with Wesley Snipes? Who else was in that? Robert De Niro. That's what that reminded me of. Nope. Keep the fans at a distance. Yes, she will be. That's what I said. Allegedly, she admitted it. It's like she literally out here was like, I mean, well, I didn't say she admitted it. I said she did it. I was like, what? How's it alleged? Wait, February? What? This last month? They're just creating stuff. Yolanda has all the prototypical traits up. I mean, if you look at that bug shot, she was giving Bulldagger tease. Unmistakable. I'm afraid she couldn't handle that beauty, and it drove her to murder. I don't believe her of Selena trying to help. Help her with what? Her bulldaggery? She was a fan but fell in love. Of course she was. She wanted to come on that floor and eat her beady beady bomb bomb. Single Mexican bulldagger. Okay. Shout out to the Mexican homosexuals though. Child, I was in the gym yesterday and there was so many good looking ass Mexican boys up in there. I was like, I want to eat your ass up in this locker room. But let me stop being nasty. But there was this one that I saw that I was like, I might be able to get this one because I was watching him. And as I was changing my clothes, I kept noticing that he was glancing at other people as they were changing in the room. And then he sat for one moment in his boxer briefs. And I was like, look at that ass. And I was, let me stop being a hoe. And I was like, I think I can get that one. You know, I like the little pocket ones. The short ones with the little fat booties. I was like, I'm gonna tear that up. Don't have me get a hold of you. And you said Selena would be 53. Yeah, I was thinking that she was in her 50s, and I'm sure her career would still be going. Like Shakira's. Don't go to Jackson Heights because the trade out there. You gotta watch some little skinny ones too. You know, they got that imported penis. That means they have foreskin. But anyway, let's stop sexually generalizing Mexicans, right? All right, so let's see how many more topics we got. We got about 4 more topics to go before we wrap up today's show. So before we get to those topics, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And of course, y'all know the drill. I will definitely be putting in timestamps throughout the show once the live is done. So that way you can just jump right to the clips that you want to check out instead of hearing all the live banter that we do during the live stream. So now, without further ado, let's get into our next topic and let's give a huge congratulations to my girl Doechii, who has hit Billboard's 2025 Woman of the Year. I'm like, child, we in March. Like, we literally 3 months in to the year, and already y'all picking Women of the Year. But if y'all like it, I love it. So let's get into it. So the rising rapper has earned the title of Billboard's 2025 Woman of the Year, landing her in the same company as Taylor Swift, SZA, Lady Gaga, and last year's honoree, Karol G. Now, Doechii is set to receive the 2025 Woman of the Year award at the annual Billboard Woman in Music event. The star-studded event is taking place on Saturday, March 29th at YouTube Theater at Hollywood Park in Inglewood, California. Now, Doechii won the Rising Star Award at the 2023 Billboard Woman in Music event. She is just the 3rd woman to progress from the Rising Star Award to Woman of the Year, followed by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande Frappuccino. Now, after receiving the Billboard Woman in Music Rising Star Award in 2023, Doechii has quickly gained recognition in the music industry for her bold creativity and impressive talent. Hannah Karp, editorial director of Billboard, said in a statement, quote, with a genre-blending sound, Doechii is redefining what it means to be a trailblazer in the music industry. We are honored to celebrate Doechii and cheer on her continued success, end quote. Now, Billboard's Woman of the Year award has become one of the music industry's highest honors. Past recipients include Karol G, SZA, Olivia Rodrigo, Cardi B, Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande, Selena Gomez, Odonta, Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift. Now, Doechii is the second rap artist to win the award following Cardi B in 2020. Doechii, who was born in Tampa, Florida, is the second artist from the Sunshine State to be named Woman of the Year. Grande, the 2018 recipient, was born in Boca Raton. Boca Raton? Isn't that where all the old people retire? I didn't even know Ariana Grande was from Florida. That was news to me, but that just goes to show I don't be following her like that. That was something I was looking for because I was like, we got to bring up, of course, Azealia Banks asserting herself into this conversation or just trying to throw shade at Doechii and calling her a damn industry plant. So, they also said that, but before we get to that, let's just give her flowers. So on February 2nd, Doechii became the second solo woman to win the Grammy for Best Rap Album, again following the lead of Cardi B. Doechii won for her acclaimed mixtape Alligator Bites Never Heal. Her performance of Denial is a River and Catfish on the Grammy telecast was rated as the night's best by Billboard's Jason Lipschitz. Well, here's the thing. I do agree that Doechii is definitely that girl. She is on the come up to being someone who, in my opinion, follows kind of in the reins of sonically and visually of a Missy Elliott. She reminds me of like this generation's Missy Elliott. I really would love to see her push more with that. She kind of reminds me of another artist that I was living for too, that I'm like, we don't really see her as much anymore. LaKaylee 47. Like, I like her type of music and stuff out there where it's like, it's real intricate, it's really interesting. She takes risks, she genre bends, with the visuals. I definitely see like she is in the making where we could definitely see her down the road headlining her own Super Bowl if she keeps it up and she has the right people behind her. And I truly believe that she has that. But of course, we can't have nice things because Azealia Banks' bipolar ass always has to jump on the social media and assert herself in the conversations that nobody asked her to include herself in. So she went on social media and said the following. Someone, I don't know if this is a response to it, but somebody said, we have to kill this narrative. Doechii's rise is what happens when undeniable talent gets time to develop and is backed by smart, sustained investment. If this feels inorganic, it's because the industry really gives new artists this level of real backing anymore. And Azealia went and said the following. She said, no, it's because most artists are intelligent enough to not sign those type of deals anymore. The only reason any label has any incentive to invest any kind of money into a mid to whack YouTube personality is a non-conventionally attractive dark-skinned one at that. 100% signals they're owning masters, publishing image rights to the artist's name / getting the lion's share of royalties for an insane amount of time in exchange for what her probably seemed like life-changing money, but is actually immediate debt. So yeah, they found a broke girl in the trenches that they could pay a small sum to push product they had sitting around with the writers they have signed up for pub. So I guess it is they trying to say that Doechii was giving her songs, that they had a bunch of writers who had written some stuff, they signed them up for publishing deals, and they basically just found some artists that they just picked out of the middle, out of nowhere, and basically have just propped her up to be this thing. So basically implying that Doechii is an industry plant when she's not. I'm tired of people with this damn narrative in regards to industry plants or whatever the case is. And girl, why the hell do you care if somebody's an industry plant or not? Shouldn't you be trying to stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to, like trying to revive what little is left of your career? Like, you should be in the studio making music. You haven't been relevant in like a decade, but yet and still you out here worrying about what other people are saying and trying to go in on other people's careers. Anytime somebody's on the rise or somebody's on the come up, she got something to say. But I was having a separate conversation with some people, and they were saying that they feel like it's a little too early for Doechii to be getting a Woman of the Year title when it should go to people like Megan Thee Stallion or someone like that. Like Megan's really been, say what you want about her, and yeah, her music kind of like, I feel like the visuals and everything else is always bigger than the music. Like I like the idea of Megan. I like some of Megan's music, but I feel like she has not really strived to that peak yet of where artistically she could be as a well-rounded artist. I just feel like, I don't know, it's just like the music is coming up short. But I like everything else, that like the whole package of Megan. It's just like the music is not matching the package. Kind of like Lady Gaga and Mayhem. Like I feel like the package is not matching the overall music. The hype is not matching everything that y'all putting together for us to feel kind of like what you were saying your music or whatever is supposed to be about. But it's, I was having conversations with some people. They were naming other people, and they were feeling like, yeah, they feel like it's a little too early for her to be getting this Woman of the Year thing, because they're like, she's only put out mixtapes. She doesn't have like a full-fledged album out yet, and I'm sure that'll probably change. Probably this year or next year, we should be getting hopefully, finally, a proper record from her, and not a bunch of damn mixtapes. So people feel a way about it. Some people are like, they lived. Congratulations to her. Her career's on the rise. But you know what? She's been working hard at this for a long time. It's the same thing with like Chappell Roan, who's been working at this for a long time and finally has crossed over into the mainstream. Now, how she deals with it is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But for the most part, Chappell Roan's not an industry plant. Sabrina Carpenter's not an industry plant. These are girls that have been working little by little, climbing up the ladder to get and working their ass off to get to where they are today. So when people out here talking about industry plant, they don't even know what the hell an industry plant actually is or what that term means. It's kind of like this whole thing where this new phrase that's going around where they talking about, oh, they reheating they nachos. Yeah, this is a new phrase where which basically is, you're rehashing something that we've already had before. Like it's you've been having it sitting in the refrigerator for years, and now or for a minute, and then you just took it out, stuck it in the microwave, reheated it, and now you're feeding it to us again, something that you already made. So that's basically the new phrase that's going around, the new term, reheating your nachos. And then we have this industry plan. Can we retire that? Reheating the nachos is relatively new, but y'all gonna piss me off, and it's gonna get to a point where it's like, 2 months from now, I'm like, y'all gonna have to retire that, because y'all gonna work that like y'all work demure and damn mindful. Y'all gonna drive me to drink with that phrase. So I say all this to say, ending my rant, what do you guys think of this story regarding Doechii being named 2025's Woman of the Year? Do you think it's well deserved? Do you think it's too early for her to be getting this title? Or is it that, what Billboard is doing is like Rolling Stone or whatever? People, y'all don't read magazines, y'all don't do all that stuff anymore. So they have to do these controversial moves in order to get y'all talking. And look, we're talking about it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. See, like I said, and then Onyx says that respectfully, this should have gone to Sabrina and Chappell. And I agree with that, because I feel like Sabrina and Chappell have definitely been working their ass off. Doechii, a lot of people didn't really, and I've heard a lot of people say this, they really were not aware of her and what she was about until her Grammys performance. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's up, Doechii's behind. But I do agree, because we've been seeing so much of Sabrina and Chappell within the last year. I do agree it should have went to the both of them. I do feel like Doechii should have gotten it in 2026, not 2025. But it's more controversial, and it brings more attention to it by having a Doechii be on the cover in 2025, because it gets people talking. Them getting on Sabrina and Chappell being talked about, it'll be a blip. It'll literally be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. And then people will go about their daily lives. It doesn't spark enough controversy. But they're bringing up Doechii's attractiveness and complex. Hello. And especially when you hate when people bring up yours. But don't she got that old skin bleaching soap? Megan didn't really have a good. Well, that is true. I understand why they would give it to a Doechii instead of Megan or Glorilla. Yeah, because I was like, Glorilla album came. Nothing stood out for me on that. So she needs some hits. That album just didn't do it for me. And yeah, Megan, she was releasing the music or whatever, but to be honest, she's not that pop girl. Like, I understand they're trying to cross her over into the whole pop music space, but the songs just aren't doing what needs to be done. I like Megan. I like the fact that they try to get her up there and be like this Nicki Minaj-esque pop star type, but I was trying to find the right words, but I'm gonna just say it. I just don't think Megan is diverse enough with her style of music. Nicki Minaj is way more diverse. She could do pop, she could do dance, she could do hip hop, she could do all those different things, and that's why I think a lot of people liked her. She was a well-rounded artist. She's a pop star, and she was able to just tap into all those different genres, and it was able to work. When I look at Megan, and I like Megan, but it's just I just don't feel like her music is on in that same place where she could transition into different. She's not that she's not versatile, and the songs don't give that. So I think that was her, that's my issue with her. I have noticed a lot of people say Doechii doesn't have pop. Yeah, she does. She has pop appeal. Hello, Alter Ego. The Gays was eating that song up. And so she does have pop appeal. I don't know what they're talking about. And I feel like if she kind of goes more into that whole like a LaKaylee 47, Missy Elliott type of vibe with her music, she could definitely play into that. And then that will give her the pop appeal, but kind of just make it her, which is what artists do. But people don't, and I hate when people say, "Oh, she's not original," or people just in general, "Oh, they're not original, they're derivative of other people." I'm like, everybody takes from something, but it's all about taking those people that you were inspired by and making it your own. Because yeah, they did accuse Doechii of, "Oh, she's trying to be like Nicki Minaj, and she's this and she's that," and it's like, yeah, when people are trying to find out their sound and who they are and stuff, that's what they do. They will take from here, they will take from there, but at the same time, they're finding their way through the thing, and they've been able to carve out a genre that is their own. Hitting on nachos came from another female rapper, Stunner Girl. Well, thank you for letting me know, because I don't watch baddies, so I would have never knew that. I know a lot of people that do watch baddies, but yeah, I'm not one of them. I heard a lot of was mad ASF about Doechii's success. So can I. I couldn't name one Lotto song. But I don't know what you mad at her for. Don't hate the play, hate the game. Megan needs to branch out to different producers. She's a big fan of rock music, Paramore, and Linkin Park. I would love to see her jump on a rock song. Like you said, was one song on Act 2 of her album that gave that, but it didn't make any noise. So I do agree. I'm like, yeah, I'm here for that. She definitely doesn't need to branch out to different producers. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I worked her show, while she was up there doing her thing, I'm like, all these songs sound alike. Like, you need to diversify your producing portfolio. So I do agree with that. I just finished Ray Charles' autobiography. He said he shamelessly mimicked Nat King Cole until he. Thank you, and that's why I'm glad that you know what, those of us who know, we know. Like, who has? I mean, if you look at Michael Jackson will tell you he ripped off James Brown. And then, he was one of his inspirations. He basically was doing a lot of what James Brown was doing until he found his rhythm and he did his own thing. They all do it. Every artist does it. How many black folks did Elvis Presley rip off? Like, they all do it. Madonna has taken from people in the past too and made it her own, where she looked at old movies and Marilyn Monroe and some of the other musicians from the time. We all do it. It's like you look to the past, you look at the people that inspired you, and then you find your own thing. When you look at Beyonce, she's made up of so many different women. Tina Turner, Josephine Baker, she's got a little Madonna up in there, she's got a little Janet, she's got a bunch of other people, but she was able to take what those girls were doing and she put it in her own gumbo and made it her own. Everybody does it. That's what you do when you are becoming an artist. You study the people that came before you. When you look at an Usher was looking at I believe, Ben Vereen, who I believe he's related to. He was looking at Ben Vereen. He was looking at Michael Jackson. He was looking at so many other people that was in the past and emulated a lot of what they was doing and refined it and made it his own. That's what we do. You look at the people who inspire you. You take in what they do, and then you do your own thing with it. You put your own spin on it. That's what artists do. They borrow. They don't steal. So there's that. And as soon these new generation children understand that, instead of always talking about, oh, this was a copycat, it's like, you know nothing about the arts. You know nothing, Jon Snow, as they once said. Oh, so we had another comment. You said Janet came to Sabrina's show in England and took a picture with her. Oh, okay. Yeah, because Janet living in England. Wait, is she back? Is the residency done? You know, I haven't been paying attention to the dates and things. I guess it is done. All right, but anyway, let's move on. And let's get into some homosexual news. And let's talk about Sir Ian McKellen telling all the actors that are in the closet. He said, I want all of you homosexuals to come out wherever you are, because the closet is for clothes, not people. So English actor Sir Ian McKellen called on closeted homosexual actors to come out and get into the sunshine in an interview published Sunday in the Times of London. McKellen, who was 85, came out in a radio interview with the BBC in 1988 before going on to co-found an LGBTQ rights charity in the UK called Stonewall a year later. Now, while speaking to the Times of London in a recent interview about his advisory role on a new production of Richard II, the Lord of the Cockrings actor said that he wished everyone who was a homosexual, including people in his profession, would come out, noting that there has never been an out gay British Prime Minister, Best Actor Oscar winner, or Premier League soccer player. Former Everton midfielder Thomas Hitzlsperger, okay, child, I can't read that last name. They said played in the Premier League, but came out after retirement, as a lot of the artists tend to do. He says, I've never met anybody who came out who regretted it. This is what he told the Times of London. I feel sorry for any famous person who feels they can't come out. Being in the closet is silly. There's no need for it. Don't listen to your advisors. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gay friends who know better. Come out. Get into the sunshine. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. So McKellen will also compare the situation between athletes and actors, suggesting that both are most likely being advised by managers, agents, and publicists to stay quiet about their sexuality. Saying, I would imagine young footballers are probably like actors getting very bad advice from agents who are worried about their own incomes. But the first Premier League footballer to come out will be the most famous footballer in the world, with all the agencies begging for his name on their products. Even as social acceptance of LGBTQ plus people has broadly increased, many actors remain in the closet for fear of career damage. For some projects, being out and gay can affect how one's work can be marketed internationally, if at all. As recent as 2022, high-profile films such as Black Panther 2 were facing threats of being banned in China over LGBTQ plus content, while explicitly gay dialogue was cut from Fantastic Beasts for its Chinese release. Well, here's the thing. When you are a cuckold to China, of course you're going to feel that way. And I feel like if it comes down to it, why do we have to market our stuff to them? If they're going to feel a way where they acting like there's no gays that exist in China, then y'all are bigger idiots than you let on. So I don't understand how y'all so worried about China, but this is the way the industry has become. So I do agree with Ian to an extent, but I also agree with him as well with the fact that it's the agents, it's the people behind the scenes that are telling this. Because most recently I saw an article, I don't know how recent it was, but I happened to see it on my Facebook feed. I don't know, I don't know how it just popped up. I guess because I did the Ian McKellen story, it just popped up. But Colton Haynes, who you know is an actor and was on Teen Wolf and a bunch of other things, basically said that he was told by people that was on his team, because he was so effeminate, that you might as well get a job as an escort, because you're not going to have a career in Hollywood because of how gay he was. And to me, this is where we need more Ryan Murphys. We need more Lee Daniels. We need more Patrick Ian Polks, who we're going to get into in the next story, behind the scenes that are pushing for queer content. We need way more stories told where actors can feel a way about, having the career they want to have. Like, you have Matt Bomer out here with a great career as an out gay man, but some people could say it's because he's got Simon Halls protecting him, his husband, who's in the industry. You have Nathan Lane with a career. So there's a lot of actors out here who are having careers. Now, I know it might be different for queer people of color because they're pushing to try to have these programs, and it's even more harsher for trans people. And I feel like within the next 4 years, we're going to have a lot more issues, especially with the current administration cracking down on anybody that's an other to keep us distracted while they do the things that they're doing behind the scenes, criminal activities, white collar crimes, white collar federal crimes. Take your pick. So I'm going to totally agree with him in that way, where it's like, yes, it would be great in a perfect world to come out of the closet, but what I would have to tell these agents and stuff is like, well, yeah, I'll come out, but you're gonna have to work a little harder for your money. Like, I'm not just some easy mark for you because you're worried about, oh, I'm not gonna get that endorsement deal with this one and that one. But there are pro LGBTQ plus endorsements that a big celebrity who happens to be gay will come out and support. So why aren't we supporting those things and vice versa? So we have to make it a space where people can feel comfortable enough to want to come out. But you should be out here trying to act. But I guess maybe what it is that these gay actors don't want to be judged based on them being gay because some people just can't see beyond who they sleep with in real life. And it's like, wait a minute, who I'm fucking off camera? And it will have nothing to do with the part that I'm up for. Just like in real life, I'm not a serial killer, but I'm going up for a role as a serial killer. Why is it that it's more believable and more convincing that I'm playing a murderer? But if I'm gay, I'm not convincing enough to play straight. If you really think about it, or if you actually pay attention, there's so many gay men in real life that walk around pretending to be straight due to whatever kind of stuff that's going on in the world, where they got to walk around and hide and keep a piece of who they are at bay, be it a job type of situation or whatever type of situation you're in, depending on maybe where you live, economic status, whatever. So if anybody know how to convincingly give heterosexual tease, it'd be a homosexual, unless you just clockable and there's no getting away around it. So if it's that, then I can understand. But then also, he wasn't the only one that came out and said something. We also had Kate Winslet, who jumped on the line and had something to say as well. So they said, in 2021, Oscar winner Kate Winslet shared that she knew several homosexual actors in the closet and that she hoped that they would be able to come out someday. Well, let me go to her picture. She said, I cannot tell you the number of young actors I know. Some well-known. Child, can you tell me who they are? So I could... Anyway, not to out them, I was like, maybe I could shoot my shot. Some well-known, some starting out, who was terrified their sexuality would be revealed and that it would stand in the way of their being cast in straight roles. She said, now that's fucked up. She added that she knew at least 4 actors who are hiding their sexuality, saying it's painful because they fear being found out. Despite the persistence of the Hollywood closet, the number of out LGBTQ plus actors in the industry is clearly rising, with actors like Jonathan Bailey not only getting lead roles in hit projects like Bridgerton and Wicked, but also playing a straight character in them as well. Because I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe that his character in the upcoming Jurassic World movie is gay. So, I mean, we won't know until we watch the movie. But when you look at Jonathan Bailey, you don't get gay from him. I do think he's sexy, though. Like, I would not mind, having reenacting some of them scenes from Fellow Travelers with him. Because, child, that movie almost had me thinking all kinds of, like, that movie was just scandalous. I was living for it. She also wanted to say I was hyper aware of the complexities and nuances of how I felt about myself being a gay man, let alone a gay actor, and suddenly finding success in playing a straight part and talking about that. This is what Bailey told Vanity Fair in November. The desire to see queer actors come out has long been a sticking point for gay fans and critics alike. In 1981, film historian and eventual GLAAD co-founder Vito Russo wrote in his landmark book, The Celluloid Closet, he wrote the following: "The public should, in fact, be aware of the sexuality of gay actors, just as it is aware of the heterosexuality of the majority. I do not believe that such a discussion is nobody's business, nor do I believe that it is one of a sexual and therefore private nature." So yeah, there you have it. And you know what? This is always going to be a complex conversation that we're always going to be having. I do hope that we get to a place one day that people are not, let's take it from Martin Luther King, that people are not judged by, the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their gender, whatever. It should be about who they are as a person. How are you as a human being? The content of their character. That's what we should be focusing on. And the fact that we should be able to suspend our disbelief and believe that, okay, just because this person is gay in real life, that you can't just suspend your disbelief and believe that they will play straight. Just like y'all will sit up here and believe, oh, it's so revolutionary that a straight man gets up there and plays a gay man in a movie and wins an award for it. But y'all have a problem with gays getting up here playing straights, or they want to play all kinds of different characters. Even if they played gay in a movie, people got a problem, or a straight film. So I say all this, say whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, out in the girl. I'll say, well, no. I'll say, let me know, chair. It's a lot easier for people to come out these days, but it still does affect some people's careers. Absolutely. But it's just like, look, there's so many options of the way things can get made now. We have streaming, we have movies, theatrical release, we got TV shows. There's always ways that you could work. I guess you would just have to come to terms with the fact that you're probably not going to get that big league role or whatever. But I'm like, look, if they won't give, if you can't, if you build it, they will come. So if you got an idea and you can write a script, or you have a friend who knows about, writing or whatever the case is that can help you write the script, I would say, look, make it happen. Create your own lane. If people aren't going to give you if you're not going to be able to go down the lane that you want to go down, create the lane. That's what I always say. Don't wait on other people to give you an opportunity. I spy at least 4 faggots, she said. I would drink my imaginary tea, but I finished my coffee. So I can't be drinking out of that no more. Aren't some a bit too blatant? Like, do they need to come out when the faggot tree is oozing all over the floor? You're going to leave my husband alone. Look, him, you know what I would love to be in between? Like, even though none of them is going to put it in my butt, but I just want to have one night with Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac. Can you imagine the 3-way between them? I was like, them three? Us three, bitch. So you gonna leave my husband, Pedro? Why you think I be out here being like my husband, Pedro Pascal? Like, I don't be fawning over straight men. I don't. It's like when I could smell that you're part of the community. Yes, we do, Cham. But anyway. Now simply to my out folks, let's get into this story about Patrick M. Polk. So I heard this story. I saw this was actually sent to me yesterday. Shout out to Gay Magazine. And I'm very much excited over the fact that, one of my favorite filmmakers, Patrick M. Polk, who has given us programs such as The Skinny with Jussie Smollett. Also, he does P-Valley. He did Noah's Ark, of course, which I love that show. And what was it? Punks, which I never got I'm still mad to this day. I never had the opportunity to go see that in the theater. Friends of mine actually went to go see it at like the Quad. So they went to go see it at the time. I didn't get to go. I would have loved to have went. And this movie is like hard to find. But I happened to get a chance to finally see it, which of course, if you watch Punks, you could definitely see it's like, this is the catalyst, the prelude to Noah's Ark, because it's like four best friends who are navigating life and love and all this other stuff in LA. Like it pretty much had that whole vibe. But I happened to actually finally got to watch it because it was on, I think it's on YouTube. Like if you look it up, the whole movie's up there. But you know, this long in the tooth movie, Invisible Life, that we've been hearing about, I believe, for the past, it feels like 20 years, they've been talking about developing this movie. I remember at one point, I think Tracy Edmonds was in talks to produce the film. I don't know if she still is, but we'll go through the story but I just want to set everything up. But we were hearing so many stories about that. Yeah, Tracy Edmonds, who was Babyface's ex-wife, was supposed to be working on this film, never got off the ground. And now we're hearing Patrick Ian Polk is getting his hands on it. It's going to bring Invisible Life based on the Elin Harris book. Is coming to the big screen. So shout out to Gay Magazine for this story where they had it here. So openly queer writer, producer, and director, I should say acclaimed as well, Patrick Ian Polk, best known for his trailblazing TV series Noah's Ark, has announced that he will be directing a film adaptation of Invisible Life, the seminal novel by 10-time New York Times bestselling author Elin Harris. Polk shared the exclusive news during his sit-down conversation with the host of the Surface Level podcast, hosted by Jordan, Damon, and Tony, at their Surface Level live event at the Harlem Stage in New York on February 8th, 2025. See, now look, you see all these YouTubers and everything out here doing these live shows and events. I told you, and I'm putting it out in the universe because it will happen. That's a goal that I have next. Like, I would love to take Chris Avalon Unfiltered, kind of like what T.S. Madison's doing with Phag Talk, and same thing what they're doing with the Surface Level podcast, that I get to travel around the United States and possibly, not even possibly, and the world, and do a live taping of my show. We could probably have a moderator or whatever the case is, and I get up there and I just do me for how long I'll be doing it with an audience. And then I film it. And then we get to see it on YouTube and it gets to live in infamy. So so yeah, he revealed this at the Surface Level live event. Now, while discussing his upcoming projects, Polk revealed, one of the things that I'm working on is I'm going to be directing Invisible Life, the movie, the Elin Harris adaptation, so I'm very excited about it. Now, published in 1991, Invisible Life is a coming-of-age novel that tackled the then taboo subjects of bisexuality and the AIDS crisis. The book, along with its sequels in the Invisible Life trilogy, remains a cornerstone of LGBTQ plus literature, particularly within the Black community. Harris, who was openly homosexual, was celebrated for centering the experiences of gay and bisexual Black men in his work, opening doors for representation in mainstream publishing. Well, yeah, he definitely was, because I was not familiar with Elin Harris back in the day until I remember my friend who I was friends with. I was 12 and he was 11. Shamik, he was always like a big book reader. And I remember, like, in between reading a lot of the John Grisham books, he was reading a lot of Elin Harris. That's how I got introduced to him. And then I got introduced to James Earl Hardy, who, you know, is who created the whole B-Boy Blues franchise and beyond. And sidebar, I love this idea because we need more content pertaining to queer people of color, especially when we're talking about stuff with Elin Harris and a lot of his books. But also, when are we getting the sequel to B-Boy Blues? I love the B-Boy Blues movie that was directed by Jussie Smollett. So I'm definitely hoping that we get more of that. Plus, I love that Patrick Ian Polk is still, you know, out here making his stuff, that he's not only catering to the straight people and their stuff, but like P-Valley, even though P-Valley is not all the way straight. They have their things that they put up in there. But I'm looking forward to P-Valley the next season. When are we getting the reboot of revival of Noah's Ark? Then they said we're supposed to be coming out with that this year. They was talking about it was last year, so I'm hoping that we hurry up and get that soon as well. So yeah, now in 2021, I should say, Deadline reported that the Invisible Life trilogy was being adapted into a TV series at HBO, with playwright Harrison David Rivers attached as the screenwriter and executive producer. Proteus Spann, curator of the Elin Harris brand, and Tracy Edmonds were also named as producers, with Spann's Proteus E2 Productions securing the IP rights for Harris's entire library catalog before his passing in 2009. A total of 16 books published between 1991 and 2010 were included in that acquisition. At this time, Gay Magazine has not confirmed if all previously announced producers and creatives remain attached to the project alongside Polk. Now, Polk's involvement in bringing Invisible Life to life, or to the big screen, I should say, marks a major milestone in LGBTQ plus storytelling in film, having made history with Noah's Ark, the first television series to focus on the lives of Black gay men. Polk's visionary storytelling continues to push the boundaries of representation. Now, with this adaptation, audiences will soon get to experience Harris's pioneering narrative in a whole new way, introducing a new generation to a novel that forever changed the landscape of Black LGBTQ plus literature and visibility. And what I also hope that this does is shines more light on Black queer content, or people who are of color that are creating content pertaining to our community. So I definitely am looking forward to seeing this. I hope, and I'll put it out in the universe, that I actually get an invite to the premiere or the screening, because I definitely want to see this movie so that way I can talk about it. I would also love to have Patrick come on this show and talk about the movie when it comes out, or the cast. Shit, I wouldn't even mind actually having a part in the dang movie. So I definitely want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this story regarding Patrick Ian Polk taking on this film? I wanted to see if there was actual comments. I'm sure there was a lot of great comments in regards of, because I was like, let me go to Instagram real quick. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that the first time. And see what the people is saying in the comments before we wrap it up. So let's go to the comments and see what people are saying besides myself. One said, oh, DJ Baker said, oh, I can't wait. Been waiting for this all my gay life. Okay. Another person said, I'm excited for this. People slept on Elin Harris. Those chronicles of books were fire. Another person said, I love this. All you young kids need to go read this book, or I can lend you my copy. Somebody said, do Basketball Jones. I bet that would be great. Gay Magazine said that will be iconic. Another person said, I've been wanting this for so long, but I'm also afraid. Please do it some justice. That book is a classic. But I think if Patrick is getting behind it, he'll definitely do it justice. Another person said, please, 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 Lord, I hope and pray it's better than B-Boy Blues. I'm such a fan of both writers. Another person said, Patrick would do us right. He understands Black gay culture. I wish he had done B-Boy Blues. So a lot of people feel like that they didn't like what Jussie Smollett did with B-Boy Blues. A lot of people feel that he should have took on B-Boy Blues. And who knows, maybe down the road we'll get another remake of B-Boy Blues, and somebody else will take it on, and we'll get, the movie that we want to get. I love the books. I will say this, I was more or less into the whole B-Boy Blues thing more so than Elin Harris's books. But I did grow up in the 90s reading a lot of those books. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from you guys. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Aaron said, coming out at work was a disaster for me. It's peaceful though. No one interacts with me and I just do me job. Oh, so you're saying like you came out and people just weren't like it was like when you came out that people were treating you disrespectfully? That's crazy. But yeah, I was like, but I would take on the whole idea of like, you know what? You just go in, do your job, and go home. That's kind of the idea that I've adapted, which is like I just go in, do my job, and go home. Now I do, when I'm at work, I will break bread and I'll converse with my coworkers and all the other stuff when I'm at the garden. But after that, I'm just like I go about my business. The only time where I felt like where I was like able to just fully be myself and then I'm still cool with the people after I no longer worked there was when I worked at AMC. I made so many great friends, and I think it's because we were all in the arts in that way. So working at AMC, and I'm still friends with a lot of the people that I was friends with when I worked there 10 years ago. So, and we all hang out and stuff. So that's how like you got those true friends, and where it was like we were just able to have a rapport and all that stuff beyond what, a regular job. But that is unfortunate that you work a job and that's something you got to deal with where it's just like, you come out at work and You got to deal with the disrespect and stuff. A Noah's Ark reboot with a bunch of Zillennials will be a lightning in a bottle or a disaster. I hope they don't try to and I think well, from what I'm hearing, the original cast is coming back. So they got although Ricky done let himself go. So, but other than that, they're talking like, yeah, the whole cast is coming back. Daryl Stevens looked the same but older. You know, the actor that played Wade looked the same. Then I've seen I remember even Rodney Chester brought it up on the show. I think he was being interviewed by Funky Dineva that it was somebody that it was going to be happening. So I mean Rodney Chester, and then of course the actor that played Chance. I used to have conversations with him on social media. Like he and I used to talk back and forth on Facebook. So we would message each other and he would give me advice and all other stuff. I believe from what I've heard he's done this to other people too, where he's like had like the banter back and forth with other people. And it was just like, you know, the days of MySpace and the early days of Facebook, it was such a different time. But I honestly don't want them to do like, I mean, if they do a Zennial version of it, make it right where you have like the older generation, like the older cast come back and the new cast come back. I'd be here for it, but what I'm afraid of, please don't go to Queer as Folk route. Remember when they rebooted Queer as Folk for the newer generation? That was a mess. I did not like that show at all. It was like because that was a complaint. Y'all were mad because, it wasn't diverse. Y'all didn't really have a diverse cast, which is a valid reason to be upset over Queer as Folk. But Queer as Folk came at a time that we definitely needed. I just do wish that it would have been a reflection of the world where it wasn't just these white folks navigating through whatever they were navigating through in this Pittsburgh. But for the most part, it was just like, yeah, I just did not like, they thought, oh yeah, let's throw some people of color, let's throw some trans butch, whatever, and up in there. And it was just like, none of you people are likable. Like y'all thinking, just making it diverse is just the only thing. It's like, no, we need to actually, you got to piss us off in certain situations. We got to root for you too. Because there were situations where Michael worked my root canal nerve. And finally they got his ass together because when he got with Dr. Dave and he was acting all pompous and embarrassed about his friends because he found him a man with money and they had to bring his ass back down to earth because he was acting like his shit didn't stink. That's what made me hate him at one point or dislike him. Then there were things that Brian would do that would piss me off, but there was always a thing that at the end of the day, he made us love him again. Like he was complex. And that's what you needed. None of those people on the Queer as Folk remake were likable. I didn't like nobody on that damn show. And that was their fault. That was the writer's fault. That's why the show lasted the season. And I remember when me and my roommate would sit up in here, we would just go on a long ass debate about why we hated that show. The remakes and why the original series is better because we both came up around the same time when the original show came out. I kid you not. Queer as Folk came out the day that I graduated Barbizon. Mm-hmm. Once upon a time, I was in Barbizon, and once the graduation thing was over, I remember I recorded it on my parents' TV at home, and I couldn't wait to get home, and I put that first episode on, and I got my life. I said back in the day, I had a female coworker ask me if I read Elin Harris. I said no, but yes, I'm gay. Okay. It's like, well, since you trying to ask, bitch, I'm gonna tell you. It's like, no, I didn't read the book. You were trying to find out as a way to ease me into finding out if I was a homosexual. I was like, well, you should have asked. But I guess that was her way to ease on down the road. He was like, yeah, but I suck dick. And what? Mm-hmm. You should definitely read it. The novel is available on Spotify as an audiobook for free well, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Maybe I'll even get around to listening to it. I remember I could cuss a bitch out and never get in trouble, but because teens and the whole cyberbullying thing, yeah, that's why I always be watching my mouth on social media. I don't get into it. I'm like, look, I got a show. I have other responsibilities that I have to stick with, so I can't be out here cussing people out because then if I end up suspended or my page get taken down or they tell me I violated community standards, then I can't use my social media as a promotional tool. And that's why I use it. It's a promotional tool. I don't use it to get involved in the buffoonery with other people. They said, tired about girls on, not for teens, it's for adults. F your kids. Okay, Lil Nas X. All right, y'all. So now, where are we going? I think we are at our final topic, but I had to refresh because RuPaul's acted a fool in regards to the article. I don't know why it was doing what it was doing. All right, y'all. So let's get on into our final topic. Let's talk about RuPaul, who recently revealed that they're about to start going into production on season 18 of Drag Race. And mind you, RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 is currently on our screen. You know, it's currently on air. And yeah, so now they're talking about that they're ready to start shooting the next season. So now Drag Titan RuPaul has confirmed that season 18 of Drag Race commences filming in a couple of weeks, and that more than one UK season has already wrapped production. We know. Little B. Collins can barely had time to catch her breath after winning her first maxi challenge of RuPaul's Drag Race, and the splashy season 17 hasn't even crowned a winner yet. But as the saying goes, the devil works hard, Kris Jenner works harder, but RuPaul works the hardest. 17 seasons of the flagship franchise, 9 all-star seasons, and 2 Versus the World installments, not to mention 3 trips down under and Global All-Stars, and the queen that started it all is still going strong. So strong, in fact, that in an ET exclusive released on March 8th, RuPaul revealed exactly what the current production status is for several upcoming seasons of the show. She said, Drag Race has been a lot of fun, and I do it still every day. I just finished filming a couple of seasons in the UK last week, and then in a couple of weeks, I start filming. That's right. Season 18. That's what they meant to put in here, but they didn't finish the whole thing. That's right. It seems Ru is ready, or will very soon will be, on the hunt for someone to succeed, whoever snatches season 17's crown. Well, my money is either on Susie Toot or Anya Nerve. Those are my top 2 in regards to the top 4. I already told you my top 4. I know a lot of people are still on the fence about Lexi Love because Lexi's still in her head about stuff, but I do feel like in my heart of hearts, the top 4 queens will be Susie Toot, Anya Nerve, Lexi Love, and Sam Starr. Those are my top 4. I know some people have it as an alternate, and their top 4 will either be between Lexi and Jewel Sparkles. But I think Jules will probably make it top 5. All the other girls, I don't really see it for them. No shade, I'm just saying. But I do feel like Susie Toot and Anya Nerve are going to be our top 2. And if Anya Nerve doesn't win, I could definitely see her taking Miss Congeniality because she has been the most congenial on this show. They damn sure ain't giving it to Joella. So now they did ask, but what about the UK seasons that Ru mentioned? One of them is almost certainly Drag Race UK season 7. Meaning the contenders vying to take Kyron Thrax's crown have already been whittled down accordingly. Season 7 was confirmed via a casting call in October 2024. I've also heard rumors that they probably also have filmed UK versus the World season 2. And I was like, yeah, you could definitely do that. It's like, I'm over here shooting Drag Race UK season 7, and I'm also going to do UK versus the World season 2. So let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone while RuPaul's Drag Race is currently in its season 17 era. I'm over here booked and busy, and now we're about to get ready to shoot season 18, which will probably be happening at the end of March into April. Now, what this makes me wonder, because here's the thing, now we also got All Stars 10 supposed to be popping up soon too. How soon, if they start filming season 18 relatively early, will we be getting season 18 on our screens? Is it going to continue to be that we get it at the start of January of 2020 of the year? So like January 2026 is when we get RuPaul's Drag Race season 18, or is it going to be a situation where we get it twice a year? Can we start doing that instead of annually? Can we get like 2 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race a year? Or is that too much? Yeah, a lot of people can't take it. And Ru did say, because she did confirm, a lot of people out here talking about, is Ru going to retire? She's not going to retire. She said, when you are in show business, and it's very hard to maintain the same job for a long period of time, because no job is guaranteed. When you are an independent contractor, shows are here today, gone today. So count your blessings. She's been doing this for almost 2 decades in regards of the Drag Race. She's been in the industry for 4 decades. So yeah, she's been in the celebrity industry space for that long. And you don't walk away from a job. They got to drag you out kicking and screaming. So she said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be hosting this to the day I die. But here's the thing. If you're going to be doing that, sis, at least try to act like you are present in the room and engage with the people. Because that's what I'm going to be doing. Like, if I would ever have the opportunity to host a show in the vein of a RuPaul's Drag Race, and I had the opportunity to have that show go strong for 2 decades, trustably, I'm going to be up in there acting like this is the very first season I've ever done of a show. I'm going to be excited to see the contestants. I'm going to be as engaged and as present as I possibly can. Sometimes I'll be feeling like Ruby phoning it in. And this is not a job that you should be taking for granted, especially there would be a lot of people that would kill to have this type of longevity. So they also said that in addition to that, so yeah, we talked about UK the next season, season 7, then we got UK versus the World season 2. And then they said that neither the BBC nor World of Wonder have officially confirmed whether UK versus the World will return, for a 3rd season, but several internet Nancy Drews have already honed in on a potential cast list due to various disappearances from social media. Well, I have no idea, so I'm trying to like stay out of that because I like to be surprised in a lot of these ways, which is why I really have not been asking for spoilers for season 17. I like the idea of just watching it with the audience, reacting, and then doing my commentary on Drag Race. You know, when I do my usual Drag Race commentary on my show. So they said there's also allegedly, not alleged, child, it's happening, All Stars 10, which seems to be somewhere suspended in mid-production due to alleged new format. Well, yeah, they did well, that's not alleged, honey. That's an actual fact. But we'll just keep going with alleged. Meanwhile, hit Drag Race spinoff Slaycation, as we talked about in our last episode, has been recently renewed for season 2 with an iconic new cast. So yeah, we talked about how Alyssa Edwards and Miss Fierce Delicious and a bunch of other queens are going to be on the new season of Slaycation, which is actually a pretty good show. Now, Rue also added on the subject of retirement, which is what I was talking about earlier. Here's the thing about show business. You do not walk away from a job. You have them escort you off the set. Well, you know me being dramatic. I said they got to drag you out kicking and screaming. Now, new episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, as y'all know, airs on Fridays on MTV in the US and WOW Presents Plus internationally. UK season can be watched on, BBC iPlayer in the UK if you have that, or if you don't, you can watch it like how I watch it, WOW Presents Plus. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to Mama Ru confirming when we will finally get an episode, or that a lot of the Drag Race shows are still coming? I know some people saying like they feel like there's a bit of overflow. They're getting a bit of Drag Race fatigue. It's way too many shows that's on. It's hard to keep up. I mean, I feel you on that, but for me, I have my pickings of the shows that I don't sit and watch every Drag Race show. There's some queens out here that's their thing, that's their wheelhouse, that's what they do. Hooray for you that y'all sit up here and do those recaps of all the franchises. That's a little too much, and especially with what I'm doing with this show, where I'm talking about way more than just Drag Race. I don't have time to be sitting up here watching every season. It becomes a little overwhelming. But I have my ones that I watch. I like Down Under now with Michelle Visage. Hopefully they keep her on that. I watch UK. UK, in my opinion, I feel like always it's always exciting watching that one. Ru seems to be having so much fun doing that one. So I have that one. I like UK versus the World. I don't particularly like Canada. Canada, y'all annoy me, but I stick it out and I watch it. There have been some moments on it where the show was actually good. So I stick with that one and the American one. So there's not very many that I watch outside. Oh yeah, and Espana too. So those are the ones that I watch. I don't sit and watch all the other ones because it becomes overwhelming at times. I don't really get to sit and watch Thailand. I don't get to watch the Philippines. I don't get to watch Mexico. I do like France. I will say that. So I do like that one with Nikki Doll. So I'm looking forward to that one when it comes out. So I definitely want to hear from you. What do you guys think of this story regarding we're getting in season 18 sooner than we actually thought? Well, they're going to start filming it, but no one knows exactly when we're going to actually get the season of the American Drag Race season 18 once it's filming wrapping. But I'm definitely curious for them to confirm what this twist is on All Stars 10 because they only filmed half of it. So let me know what you allegedly. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I always got to remember to say allegedly. My days as a troll and a Stan Twitter user, Bigo reader are gone. My digital footprint is already bad enough. You said this is news. Well, that's what he was telling in the interview. Oh, I forgot to mention because he was promoting House of Hidden Meetings. The book is in paperback, so he was promoting it, and then they were asking questions about like his coming up in the clubs, his past drug use, how long he's been sober, how he went to therapy. I mean, like what do you call it, like AA or NA or whatever the case was, to help out his husband who was a crystal meth addict, but it was really for him and a bunch of other stuff. And then they started talking about Drag Race, and that's where the conversation came up. So that's what I should have probably added that into the thing too, that he was promoting his book in paperback, because I have the hardcover because I bought it when it first came out. But yeah, now it's in paperback, and Rue is promoting the book. I wonder if if Joella showed up to have it signed and try to get on All Stars. They said 2 seasons of the show in 1 year is too much. The super fans of All Stars and the international seasons. Yeah, but do you feel like some people said that what should be done is that we should slow our roll on All Stars, that we shouldn't have All Stars every year? That maybe they should call it something else, but you can have the queens kind of come in and do something. But I'm like, look, if it works and they can find ways to keep All Stars exciting, then I guess we can go with it every season and see how many queens they could probably bring back. But yeah, you might be right. That 2 seasons of Drag Race in 1 year might be too much. But look, shows have done it in the past. Like, wasn't America's Next Top Model? Didn't they do 2 cycles a season? And then I believe Project Runway did 2 cycles a season. You know who does 2 cycles a season too, or multiple cycles a season? I feel like the challenge does that. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'll do it too much. But then again, this is a show where they do a lot of physical challenges. These kids make a lot of money doing that. So I could definitely see why they do multiple different seasons of the challenge along with their All-Stars. And them doing the All-Stars every year definitely works because it's physical challenge, but you bringing back people who have been a part of the show. All-Stars should be a bi-yearly thing. I do agree with that, especially if they're running out of queens to accept the invite. Or that those queens try to control the narrative, like how when we did All Stars 9, and a lot of them would not come back and do the show if they were going to be eliminated. But the eliminations is coming back this season. But I do agree that All Stars should be a bi-yearly thing. I feel like there needs to be a different idea that they can come up with to bring the queens back. Maybe they could reboot Drag U, but Drag U needs to be not making over heterosexual people. It needs to be sort of like you're taking like how like drag mother, like you could be like a drag mom or whatever, where there's some young underlings, some Padawan that is trying to get into drag, that don't know what to do, that's looking a hot mess, and needs somebody to take them under their wing and make them their drag child, and basically mentor them week to week to be to do drag, and make them turn the ugly duckling into the swan and get out there and do things based off a challenge, and then they'd be up for elimination. And you have like similar like The Voice, where they listen to somebody sing and they turn around and they want to excuse me, then they turn around and they get to select, based on the voice, I like this person. Y'all can do the same thing with drag queens. And then each queen, you probably have like 3 or 4 up there. Maybe do The Voice and have like 4. And you get to choose a certain amount of queens that you mentor. And based on a challenge, and then whoever's in the bottom is up for elimination and they figure it out. Yeah, All Stars should coincide with the Olympics. And like I told you, I have ideas for shows. I just got to get them up and running so I can host it. Because I love me some drags. And we need other ideas out here besides Drag Race. Okay, so now we are officially done with today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning into the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. As y'all know, I'm gonna be busy this week because there's a lot of sports stuff that's going to be going on this week. So I'm going to try to give you all a show on Thursday because it's a real early morning one. So I could probably give you, and this has happened before where I work early shows. And if I set it up just right, I can probably come and give y'all a late show on Thursday. It's because I was going to do a double, but I was like, I'm not going to kill myself in that way. So I'll probably try to see if I can squeeze in doing a show on Thursday. Don't quote me on it, but I'm gonna try. Like I told y'all the last time, don't quote me on something I showed up, right? So I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze in a Thursday show. So in the meantime, like I said before, hit that like button and the subscribe button. Love you all for watching. Thank you all for being in the comments and keying with me with this messy show in the comments. All the stuff that we normally do on this messy show. Thank you. And so yeah, love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.